Okay. We are rolling. Are we live? Okay, we are live. Welcome everybody. Hello, Rain McKnight. Audio good? Tonight we got pretty big stream. Going to talk about the cards from Gladiator's Assault. The tournament, non-tournament pack. The Collectible 10s. World Championship 2008. Then the Gladiator's Assault Special Edition. GX05, that's the Tag Force game. Champion Pack 5. Some jump promos. These are actually really nice jump promos that came in their own little booster pack. And then the two more duelist packs. We got Jaden 2, I believe is what it's called, and Jesse. Finally, there's another set of jump promos. Quite a lot. Yeah. I think 121 cards. So it's going to be a big video. Let's get to it. First up is Gladiator Beast Octavius. Light attribute, level 7, Winged Beast effect. When this card is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, target one face-down spell or trap card in the spell and trap zone. Destroy that target. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, shuffle this card into the deck or discard one card. 2500 attack, 1200 defense. This is the secret rare for the set. It's 000. We'll talk about Gladiator Beasts as an archetype closer towards the middle of the set. Spoiler, this is the first archetype that hit the ground running. Sort of. Like, Gladiator Beasts were definitely a very solid meta deck for way longer than I thought. I actually found Dragon Rulers / Gladiator Beasts together in a deck list, which is crazy. But yeah, you run Octavius. Right here. I think is really interesting too, that this card pops sort of like Bestiari and can stay on the field if you discard cards, but only 2500 attack, 1200 defense, not very good stat lineup, and he can't tag out like the other Gladiator Beasts, which is really important. I guess this is the boss that you tag into. It's pretty expensive though. Next up, we have Chamberlain of the Six Samurai. It's got 6 samurai in the name, which is better than a lot of archetype support cards. Like how Pandemonium Watchbearer supports Archfiends by supporting Pandemonium, but doesn't have Archfiend in its name. Earth attribute, level 3, Warrior. The 6 samurai are supported from the shadows by this silent and mysterious warrior. His past is unknown to them, but his countless scars are proof of his experience. 200 attack, 2000 defense, which is mediocre. It's interesting that 6 samurai get a normal monster, and, you know, there might be some applications that you could use Chamberlain with, like Rescue Rabbit, and then special summon out Great Shogun Shien, or a special summon out Grandmaster, then Great Shogun Shien. There's some things that you could do with it. Do we put normal archetype members in acceptable in archetype? Or do you put them in filler? The only thing this card has going for it outside of being a level 4 lower normal monster and a warrior, and I guess an unexpected die target, maybe we just put him here. Next up, Cloudian Smokeball. Water attribute, level 1, Fairy. Smokeballs are newly born Cloudians. They fear being alone and would rather swing and sway in the breeze with their friends. 200 attack, 600 defense. I forgot Cloudians were in this set. And you play Smokeball specifically because Turbulence can special summon it, and then you can go in for some interesting play extension. But that's pretty much just a gimmick. And is Turbulence even in this set? Turbulence might come out later. I got here just in time for Smokeball. Welcome, Malachite. Glad to see you. Next up, Evil Hero, Malicious Edge. Earth Attribute, level 7, Fiend, Effect. If your opponent controls a monster, you can tribute summon this card with 1 tribute. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. 2600 attack, 1800 defense. I believe those are Blade Edge's stats. But it might be a little bit different. Do you play this in Evil Heroes? I think it's fusion material, which is the only time where it's useful. Because some of the new Evil Hero fusions are pretty good. Its friend is Evil Hero Infernal Gainer. Earth Attribute, level 4, Fiend, Effect. During your main phase 1, you can banish this card from the field, then target 1 Fiend monster you control. That target can make a second attack during each battle phase, while you control it, face up. Once per turn, during your second standby phase after this card was banished to activate this effect, special summon this card in attack position. 1600 attack, 0 defense. Is anyone getting, like, Destiny Hero vibes off of this guy? It's sorta like Doomlord. It doesn't do the same thing as Doomlord, but the way that it banishes itself and then come back later really reminds me of it. I guess Jaden could be taking a little bit of influence from Ito, from Aster. I don't know. I think it's pretty filler, though. It is also really interesting that this particular card doesn't specify Evil Hero. It's just Fiend monsters, so this is generic Fiend support that is searchable by Stratos. So you can run Stratos in your Fiend deck. I don't think there's a situation where double attacking is worth losing the board presence, though. Maybe if you could special summon it back immediately with, like, Levier or something. I don't know. Next up, we're getting to our Cloudians. Cloudian, Eye of the Typhoon. Wind Attribute, level 8. Aqua, Effect. Wait, Smokeball was a fairy. Why isn't Smokeball an Aqua? Or why isn't Eye of the Typhoon a fairy? Don't worry about it. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. If this card is in face-up defense position, destroy it. When this card declares an attack, change the battle position of all face-up monsters except Cloudian monsters. 3000 attack, 1000 defense. It's got a Windstorm of Etiqua effect tied to it, which is pretty thematic. They're clouds, windstorm. I don't understand why the Cloudians self-destruct. I get that it's a weakness, but just having cannot be destroyed by battle as an archetype gimmick might be too strong for the game, at least at this point. You don't have a lot of popping yet. I think this card's bad, but you might need to use it to distribute cloud counters. Fog counters, not cloud counters. I think we're just going to put it in bad. Wind Attribute Aqua. That's pretty unique, though. Next up, Cloudian Ghost Fog. Water Attribute, level 1, Fiend, Effect. This card cannot be special summoned. Darn. All battle damage to either player from a battle involving this monster becomes 0. If this card is destroyed by battle, distribute new fog counters equal to the level of the monster that destroyed it among face-up monsters. 0 attack, 0 defense. So this one actually can be destroyed by battle. Has a whopping 0 attack if you do want to attack for 0 damage. It reduces the 0 damage to 0. But there's conceivable things if you wanted to boost it. I don't know. The whole card just applies a few fog counters. And at this point in the game, you're probably not going to get more than 4 or maybe 6. At best. And it can't be special summoned, so you can't tutor it out with Mother Grizzly. Also, this guy's a level 1 water fiend. That is so weird. I guess archetype consistency, they hit the nail on the head when they started designing Six Samurai, but it's hard. Next up, Cloudian Nimbus Man. Water attribute, level 5, fairy, effect. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. If this card is in defense position, destroy it. You contribute any number of water monsters for the tribute summon of this card. When this card is tribute summoned, place 1 fog counter on it for each water monster you tributed. This card gains 500 attack for each fog counter on the field. If you have a legendary ocean, and it brings it down to a level 4 monster, then you can summon it without tribute. And then you get no fog counters. Okay. 1000 attack, 1000 defense. I guess the idea is that this is your big beater monster. And normal summoning it without a tribute is not bad, but again, you need to gain the fog counters, and that's the hardest part. A counters, fog counters, they got the good idea. Very difficult to execute it properly, though. Next up, Cloudian Sheep Cloud. Water attribute, level 1, fairy, effect. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, special summon 2 Cloudian tokens. Fairy type, water, level 1, 0 attack, 0 defense, in defense position. These tokens cannot be tributed for a tribute summon unless it is for a Cloudian monster. 0 attack, 0 defense. This card is sort of like Stray Lambs if it gets destroyed by battle, which is okay. We are nowhere close to Dandelion. It is technically swarming, but I don't think it's particularly good or fast. Would I rather have 2 Cloudian tokens or 1 water monster off of Mother Grizzly? I think I'd choose Mother Grizzly. But you could float into this. I don't know. I think it's okay in archetype at best. Next up, Cloudian Poison Cloud. Water attribute, level 3, fiend, effect. The types are all over the place. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, if it was face up at the start of the damage step, destroy the monster that destroyed it, and if you do, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. 0 attack, 1000 defense. It is so weird that they are not consistent. Another fiend. I guess it's a tour guide target, if that helps. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard. It's sort of like a Grave Squirmer with more attack. And it doesn't have to be in face-up attack, or more damage. And it doesn't have to be in face-up attack position. So if you special summon it in defense mode, you could possibly take something out. I don't know. Cloudians, I think you're struggling a little bit. Next up, Cloudian Acid Cloud. Water attribute, level 4, Fairy effect. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. If this card is in face-up defense position, destroy it. When you normal summon this card, place 1 fog counter on it for each Cloudian monster on the field. So, looks like it should count itself. You can remove 2 fog counters from this card to destroy 1 spell or trap card. Oh no. You can only remove the fog counters from this card, not from anywhere on the field? And it's only on normal summon? 500 attack, 0 defense. Man, that is so underwhelming. Theoretically, it's decent card advantage that you could funnel your counters into popping spell and traps, which would be nice, but it has to accumulate the counters on itself, which is way more difficult, especially when it only gets 1 per each Cloudian monster on the field that you already have. At best, this guy is like Bad Breaker the Magical Warrior with less attack and a little bit of battle immunity. From Gemini? Man, why are the Cloudians so bad? Why are they so inconsistent? Why do some of them want to be destroyed by battle and some of them resist being destroyed by battle? It boggles the mind. Theoretically, this card does something. In practice, I don't. Cloudians deserved better? Well, that's the thing. Cloudians have, like, a couple really decent cards. Like how Roids have a couple really decent cards. Probably they're... maybe not probably. Maybe one day they'll get some actual love for Cloudians. Next up, Cloudian Stratus. This card looks like a Floranderies monster to me for some reason. Water attribute, level 4, fairy effect. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. If this card is in face-up defense position, destroy it. When you normal summon this card, place 1 fog counter in for each Cloudian monster on the field. How do you get your Cloudians to stay on the field is the question. You can remove 2 fog counters from this card to destroy 1 monster on the field. 900 attack, 0 defense. This one's significantly better. This one pops monsters. I don't know why Stratus gets more attack points when it's got a better effect. I guess you could bring back Acid Cloud with Debris Dragon and then make a rank 4 maybe? They can't do that with Stratus. It's really cute. I don't think it looks like a Cloudian monster, though. Yeah, the cutest Cloudian from Gemini. Next up, Cloudian Altus. Every time I read it as Cloud Atlas. That is just weird coincidence. Water attribute, level 4, fairy effect. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. If this card is in face-up defense position, destroy it. When you normal summon this card, place 1 fog counter in it for each Cloudian monster on the field. You can remove 3 fog counters from anywhere on the field to discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand. 1300 attack, 0 defense. Yet again, the water monsters are discarding cards out of your opponent's hand. I don't understand why that's the water mechanic. At least it removes it from anywhere. But I don't like this card on principle. Also, it's pretty expensive. For 3 counters, you could potentially pop 1.5 cards, or you could discard 1. If Cloudians ever get some high-level support where they can just loop fog counters, then Altus would be crazy, because it's not once per turn, and you could just rip out every card out of your opponent's hand. I'm glad this card is not good. Next up, Cloudian Turbulence. Water attribute, level 4. Fairy effect. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. If this card is in face-up defense position, destroy it. When you normal summon this card, Place 1 fog counter on it for each Cloudian monster on the field. You can remove 1 fog counter from this card to special summon 1 Cloudian smokeball from your deck or from either player's graveyard. 800 attack, 0 defense. How are you getting smokeballs into your opponent's graveyard? Because they're not playing Cloudians. This is the card, this is the combo where you get turbulence and then you start the ball rolling with smokeball. It's the one play it looks like Cloudians get. Start making those Link 2s. Next up, we're getting into the Roid support for the set with Truck Roid. Earth attribute, level 4, machine, effect. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, equip the destroyed monster to this card. Gains attack equal to the combined attack of the monsters equipped to it by this effect. 1000 attack, 2000 defense. It could snowball, yes. It's sort of like Millennium Scorpion, except this card doesn't require tribute, which is significantly better. You could bring it out with Giant Rat if you wanted to. Opportunistically, you could start the ball rolling, and if you hit like 900 attack, you're at 1900 attack, which is not particularly good. You could just normal summon a 2000 attack monster. Okay, I'm talking myself out of this one. It's just bad. You're assuming I'm playing Cloudians. No one's playing Cloudians. I think at no point were any. Next up, Stealth Roid. Dark attribute, level 4, machine, effect. At the end of your battle phase, if this card battled, target 1 spell/trap on the field, destroy that target. Is that mandatory? You must control another Roid monster to activate and to resolve this effect. 1200 attack, 0 defense. Do you have to pop your own cards if that's the only target? Do you want to pop your own cards? Interesting questions. It's sort of decent, is where I want to put it. It's mandatory. Okay. Could backfire. It's not even maximum of 1 on Truck Roid, yeah. You could accumulate more. I think it just could have started with much more attack. Like, maybe not 1800, but if it started with 1600 attack, I think it could get the ball rolling. Of course, 1600 you wouldn't be able to get it out with Rat. These effects are kind of random, lol. Like, do trucks in real life also get to equip things they destroy for more power? Well, trucks haul cargo, I guess, is the idea. And you're like putting things in the shipping container and then you weigh more and then momentum is equal to your mass multiplied by your velocity. So, got more momentum? I don't know. This is from Olive Via. Thank you. Finally, we get the one Roid card outside of Supercharge that really makes me think that they could do something with Express Roid. Earth attribute, level 4, machine, effect. When this card is summoned, you can target 2 Roid monsters in your graveyard, except Express Roid. Add those targets to your hand. 400 attack, 1600 defense. Looks like you need to have exactly 2. Or not exactly. It looks like you need both targets in order to apply this effect. Otherwise, you decline because it's a can. But man, this is not Stratos, where Stratos searches your deck and is a +1 on summon and has another good effect. But this is a +2 on summon, which is pretty strong. It's also a debris dragon target, I guess, with 400 attack. And it's when it's summoned in general, so you can special summon it out from the deck off of like a giant rat if you wanted to. Express Roid, it just looks like it does something. When we get Speed Roids, yeah, then Express Roid can really start getting the ball accelerating. But I think that's way far in the future. I know Roids have a few regional tops, but I don't think that they were ever much stronger than that. But man, Express Roid reads so well. If only there was like a Roid monster that special summoned itself from hand. That's all they need. Truck Roid hits like a truck, 1000 attack. I love the Roid's design, even if they're bad. Justice for my boy Pear Psych Roid. It's okay. Don't get upset about the Roids. Don't get Roid rage. Next up, Gladiator Beast Alexander. Light attribute, level 6, beast effect. This card cannot be special summoned except by the effect of a Gladiator Beast Demokari. If this card was special summoned, it is unaffected by the effects of spell cards. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, you can return it to the deck to special summon one Gladiator Beast monster from your deck, except Gladiator Beast Alexander. 2400 attack, 600 defense. Interesting. You get like a mini boss monster. It does require you to run Demokari, but Demokari is not bad. I like the design of Alexander quite a lot. There's a little bit of risk and a little bit of reward. Immunity to spell cards, pretty strong. When we get to the next Gladiator Beast, we'll point out the part of the effect, which is the tag in, tag out mechanic. But this one's pretty cool. Lyrical Star. I love how it has two different conditions to stop it from summoning itself. Oh, indeed. People really do not want to loop Alexander into Alexander. The high-level Glads fascinate me. A shame that most of them aren't quite good enough. I think the best part about Gladiator Beast as an archetype to me is that you can run one of anyone that you want as a tech, and since they tutor for each other so well, it's reasonable. By the way, Glads have huge Digimon vibes to me. Thank you, Malachite. Next up, Spartacus. Earth attribute, level 5, dinosaur, effect. This card cannot be special summoned except by the effect of Gladiator Beast Hoplomous. When this card is special summoned, add one Gladiator Beast equip spell from your deck to your hand, +1 on special summon. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, you can return it to the deck to special summon one Gladiator Beast monster from your deck, except Gladiator Beast Spartacus. Wait a second. That last line of text is unnecessary because it cannot be special summoned except by Gladiator Beast Hoplomous. Maybe there's a way to cause Spartacus to treat itself as Hoplomous and then forget that it's being treated. I don't know. That is just weird card text. 2200 attack, 1600 defense. Do you run the equip spells? On paper, I just want to point out that monsters that bounce themselves back into the deck are probably the worst deck to play with equip spells, but the equip spells are planned around it. So, I am Spartacus. Sure, you can be Gingimatic. I think it's okay. +1 on summon, but we'll see how good the other targets are first, before we make a real evaluation. Next up, Gladiator Beast Murmello. Water attribute, level 3, fish, effect. When this card is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, target one face-up monster, destroy that target. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, you can shuffle it into the deck, special summon one Gladiator Beast monster from your deck, except Gladiator Beast Murmillo. This is the tag in, tag out mechanic. They need to be involved in battle, so they need to survive an attack. They can either be the one attacking or be attacked, and then they tag out to another Gladiator Beast that's not them. Maybe Spartacus's effect is for consistency, just to make it feel like the other Gladiator Beasts. Like, here you go. Here's your consolation prize. I don't know. But Murmillo, popping monsters. That's fantastic. That's really good. Aren't almost all the equips really good? I think they're decent to good. Next up, Gladiator Beast Bestiari. Wind attribute, level 4, Winged Beast, effect. If this card is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, target one spell/trap on the field, destroy that target. At the end of the battle phase, it tags out. Or it can tag out. Yeah, Bestiari was at 1 for so long. It's interesting that Bestiari took the hit over Murmillo, personally. But still, really strong card. It's hard to describe, but quite a lot of meta dominance from Gladiator Beasts. And I think a lot of it is because War Chariot is so good, and the fusions are actually pretty good too. Archetype was a little bit ahead of its time, to be honest. Next up, Gladiator Beast Lakari. Fire attribute, level 4, Beast Warrior effect. Hey, you can put in Fire Fist. If this card was special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, its original attack becomes 2100. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, it tags out. It can tag out. I think Lakari is okay tagging in. Technically, it's better than Gene Warped Warwolf, which is okay. I think the main benefit of Lakari, though, is 1800 attack is usually enough to get over things. That you could hit normal summon your Lakari and then start tagging out with it, which I think is pretty decent. Could have gone a little bit higher. At least it's not a Garnet. Yeah, at least Lakari does something. Next up, Gladiator Beast Hoplomous. Earth attribute, level 4, Rock, because rhinos are rocks. If this card was special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, its original defense becomes 2400. Then it can tag out. I can't believe it, but like, this was one of the most important Gladiator Beasts. You set it, and then your opponent attacks into it, and 2100 defense is usually enough to survive things. Like, a Cyber Dragon crashes into it and doesn't destroy it. Then you tag out with Hoplomous. This is your defensive option. And if you do special summon it out, you know, from the deck, 2400 defense is even more than 2100. Next up, Gladiator Beast Dimikari. Earth attribute, level 4, Beast effect. If this card was special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, it can attack twice during each battle phase. Then it can tag out. 1600 attack, 1200 defense. Pretty strong. I like this. I think this is the first time we've got a double attacker monster that sorta surpasses Mataza the Zapper. 300 more attack points. Double punching. Not bad. Plus you need it if you want to special summon, which one requires Dimikari? Alexander requires Dimikari. Spartacus requires Hoplomous. So if you want to play Alexander, and Alexander's not bad, you need to be running the Dimikari, and you tag into him when appropriate. The Gladiator Beasts would break GOAT format? Yes. That would be ridiculous. But what about the OCG GOAT format where they had gadgets? Would gadgets versus gladiator beasts be more balanced? Next up, Gladiator Beast Secutor. Wind attribute, level 4. Reptile, effect. If this card was special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, then at the end of any battle phase in which this card attacked or was attacked, special summon 2 Gladiator Beast monsters from your deck, except Gladiator Beast Secutor. A little bit weird. It's only got 400 attack, 300 defense, so you really need to be running like defensive tactics or a Wabaku in order for Secutor to get in for some damage, or not even to get in for some damage, to get in to tag out. But it is a +1 on tag out. The problem is you have to get the ball rolling. And there are ways to accelerate into this, but a +1's still really strong. Especially when you realize that Gladiator Beasts get contact fusions. So Secutor is an instant contact fusion, which is crazy. Maybe not instant. It still requires setup. Next up, Test Ape. Earth attribute, level 2, beast, effect. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Gladiator Beast monster from your deck. 700 attack, 300 defense. Do you see what this card is missing? Test Ape is not a Gladiator Beast monster. It doesn't treat itself as a Gladiator Beast monster. At least it's better than Scar or Scout of the Dark World, where it's floating into things and getting them onto the field. But they're not treated as being special summoned by a Gladiator Beast monster, so it's a lot less effective than it could be. Still, it's an archetype tutor that's pretty flexible. Your attributes are all over the place. Your types are all over the place. Test Ape makes sense, at least. We'll put him here. Next up, Witch Doctor of Sparta. Earth attribute, level 4, spellcaster, effect. Inflict 500 damage to your opponent each time a monster is special summoned from either player's deck. 400 attack, 2000 defense. This card is super gimmicky, where you get Witch Doctor of Sparta out, and then you go through the entire conga line, where I believe it's like Nova Summoner, Nova Summoner, Nova Summoner, Shining Angel, Shining Angel, Shining Angel, UFO Roid, UFO Roid, UFO Roid, UFO Turtle, UFO Turtle, UFO Turtle, Mass Dragon, Mass Dragon, Mass Dragon, and then I think it's Troop Dragon, Troop Dragon, Troop Dragon is enough for the FTK, or the OTK. Whew. This is Witch Doctor of Sparta! 2 Sparta references. Fantastic. I think that is a funny thing that can happen. Test Ape is pretty ambitious for not needing to end the battle phase. I think that's pretty fun. That's true. Next up, we're back to Gemini monsters. Woo! And a pretty cool one, actually. Infinity Dark. Dark attribute, level 4, Fiend, Gemini. Gemini effect is, when this card declares an attack, you can change the battle position of one face-up monster your opponent controls. 1500 attack, 1200 defense. Not particularly good. I am going to actually read the Gemini condition. I realize I didn't do that this stream. This card is treated as a normal monster while face-up on the field or in the graveyard. While this card is face-up on the field, you can normal summon it to have it treated as an effect monster with this effect. So, this card doesn't do very much. Like, if you just released a 1500 attack monster that could change around battle positions, it wouldn't be that good. It might be a little bit useful, but I don't think it would be broken. Having to sink another normal summon in to get this mediocre effect on such a small body is just crazy to me. What were they thinking when they were thinking about the balance for Gemini monsters? Ever wanted an enemy controller, but worse? Yeah. Significantly worse. Next up, Metal Reflect Slime. This card artwork doesn't look like it's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Something about it looks like it's computer generated to me. It looks good. That's not the problem. It just doesn't feel like it fits in with the aesthetic. Water attribute, level 3, Aqua, Gemini. Effect is, your opponent takes all battle damage that you would have taken from a battle involving this card. 700 attack, 1200 defense. We already have this effect in the game. Amazonas monsters get this. I believe it's Fighter that gets this effect, but we already have precedent in the game. I guess this card has less stats than the Amazonas that can do this, but oh man. It's just such a big letdown. But it looks good. Gemini monsters have a reputation, but it's like someone designing the cards had a vendetta against them. I have never seen this card in my life before. Yeah, it just doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Next up, Ancient Gear Knight. Earth attribute, level 4. Machine Gemini effect. Its effect is, if this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate any spells/trap effects until the end of the damage step. 1800 attack, 500 defense. Why does this card exist? We have Ancient Gear Soldier, 1313. Same effect. Like, this is just the standard Ancient Gear effect. This is an Ancient Gear normal monster that you can't bring out with Rescue Rabbit, that doesn't do anything, and it's only got 1800 attack. Yeah, I don't think you even play this in archetype. Okay, but it has 1800 attack. Okay, but Gene Warped Warwolf has 2000 attack. Cyber Dragon's got 2100 attack. Monarchs have 2400 attack. It's not as impressive. I have Mirage Dragon and Goat. I'll pass. That is true. Mirage Dragon and Pitch Dark Warwolf are pretty good. Both of those cards saw competitive success, though. You also have Goblin Attack Force and Goat, and now we have Goblin Black Ops. Dark Attribute, level 4, Beast Warrior effect. It's weird that Goblin Attack Force are normal warriors, and these are Beast Warriors. Maybe it's the underbite? I don't know. This card can attack your opponent directly. If this card attacks, it is changed to defense position at the end of the battle phase. This card's battle position cannot be changed until the end of your next turn, except with a card effect. 1300 attack, 0 defense. Technically, this has more attack than Servant of Catabolism, but when we get cards like Watt Cobra, they just put Goblin Black Ops to shame. Yugi, I'm kidding, lol. It is interesting that there is archetypes which have Gemini monsters, yeah. They just put them in for some reason. I love how their fangs just poke through their masks. Those masks are probably pretty hard to get on. It just doesn't have enough attack to feel meaningful to me. Goblin Attack Force, Warrior. Goblin Elite Attack Force, Fiend. Goblin Black Ops, Beast Warrior. Yu-Gi-Oh! Everyone? Yeah. There's more. There's Goblin Recon Squad. Oh, yeah. Is Goblin Black Ops a reference to Call of Duty? Where's my zombie Goblin Black Ops? Next up, Gambler of Legend. And this card might feel familiar because we have Sand Gambler in Flaming Eternity, I think, is when we get Sand Gambler. Dark Attribute, level 4, Spellcaster, effect. Once per turn, you can toss a coin 3 times and apply the appropriate effect. 3 heads, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. 2 heads, discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand. 1 head, destroy 1 card you control. 3 tails, discard your entire hand. 500 attack, 1400 defense. So, 1 in 8 chance that this card wipes your opponent's board. You know what does that with the 1 in 2 chance? Time Wizard. Time Wizard's easier to get out because you can bring it out with the Apprentice Magician. What is that? Let's see. 2 heads. 3/8 of the time? That's not right. That is right. 3/8 of the time, this rips a card out of your opponent's hand. Which is okay. It's like bad Donzalug. It's got worse stats. 3/8 of the time, it destroys 1 card you control. That's bad. You don't want that effect. And then 1/8 of the time, it discards your entire hand, which enables Dark Worlds. But I don't think that you're banking on that even with the Dark World deck. You want something that's way more consistent. Like Diclops does this card better. I think this card's just really bad. It's worse than Time Wizard. Sand Gambler was an ancient sanctuary, thank you. I love this guy. He's not good, but he is funny. Fun fact, I made a gimmicky coin toss only deck and ran a playset of this. I constantly got 1 or no heads. That's sad. The Sasuke Samurai that requires a coin flip, that card's not bad. Next up, Inishi, Shien's Counselor. Oh, I'm sorry. Shien's Chancellor. Shien doesn't need moral support. Light Attribute, level 6, Warrior effect, cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 2 Six Samurai monsters from your graveyard. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up monster, destroy that target. This card cannot attack the turn this effect is activated. 2200 attack, 1200 defense. Do note, this card is not a Six Samurai monster, so you can't use this as your jumping off point to get out Grandmaster, for instance. Still, pretty inexpensive to bring out. It's about the same cost as Soul of Purity and Light. You're probably going to get 2 in the graveyard, especially in more modern builds. Special summon from hand, spot removal, pretty decent. Especially if you're using this card for links or synchros or Xyz material, where the downside doesn't even matter. At least Time Wizard doesn't risk your entire hand? Yeah. Great in archetype? Oh no, this card was meta. I wonder if Six Samurais are even worth considering today, though. That's the question. Next up, Spirit of the Six Samurai. So Ancient Gears get a Gemini monster, and Six Samurai get a Union monster? Okay. Why don't Cloudians get like a Toon monster or something? I don't know. Earth Attribute, level 3, Warrior Union. Once per turn, you can either target 1 face-up Six Samurai monster you control, equip this card to the target, or unequip this card and special summon it in face-up attack position. While equipped with this effect, the equipped monster gains 500 attack and defense. Those are the stats of the card. If the equipped monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, draw 1 card. Ooh. A monster can only be equipped with a Union monster, with 1 Union monster at a time. If the equipped monster would be destroyed, destroy this card instead. And 500, 500. This is card draw. It's a little hard to get out. You're probably going to be using your normal summon, but Six Samurai have a lot of board presence, and if you can get the ball rolling and then bring out Spirit of the Six Samurai, then you can get some card draw in the deck, and that's strong. There's going to be more card draw later, but it's a pretty decent option until then. It is level 3 too, so it works with certain other cards. I think Smoke Signal requires level 3 or lower. Very interesting. I think Cloudian's time has passed. Aww. Six Samurai's Union monster makes sense at least, since it's a piece of armor that can help in combat. Yeah. Oh, Six Samurai's time has passed. That makes more sense. Cloudian's never had any time. Next up, Aliens. Get Alien Telepath. Fire attribute, level 4, reptile, effect. Once per turn, you can remove 1 A counter from your opponent's monster to destroy 1 spell or trap. If a monster with an A counter battles an alien monster, it loses 300 attack and defense for each A counter during damage calculation only. 1600 attack, 1000 defense. Not bad stats, all things considered. Because if you are accumulating A counters on your opponent's monster, 1600 attack can hit over some things, which is pretty decent. It looks more like a Flamevel than an alien. I can agree with that. Of course, the Flamevel archetype is really diverse. Anything fiery sort of looks like a Flamevel, especially if it has a lot of black. Or maybe that's just Fire Dog that I'm thinking of. Kind of freaky looking. I like him. I think he's pretty decent in archetype. Hey, your A counters do something useful. It can only remove them from your opponent's monster, but 1, that's where you want your A counters to be anyway. And 2, this card is significantly better than, Acid Cloud, than Cloudians. Just because of the way that it can remove it. Not that it's good, but, you know, it's better. Spirit is great for lore. Very flavorful. It's a haunted armor of Shinai, who Xian sacrificed during a mission for a tactical advantage. Funny enough, Shinai literally translates to die. Oh, that's some foreshadowing. Back to the aliens, we got Alien Hypno, and this card is freaky looking. Water attribute, level 4, reptile, Gemini. Its effect: during your main phase, you can select 1 monster your opponent controls within A counters and take control of it while this card is on the field. During each of your end phases, remove 1 A counter from each controlled monster. If all A counters are removed from one of these monsters, destroy it. 1600 attack, 700 defense. If this guy were not a Gemini monster, if it were just normal summon, 1600 attack, start stealing your opponent's cards, oh, it doesn't look like it's once per turn during your main phase. Yeah, it's not once per turn, so you could take multiple cards with this guy. Just take your entire board. That's pretty strong. The problem is it's so slow as a Gemini monster, like a whole round behind where it should be. Bro skipped leg and arm day, only did brain day. Geminis need a rework. Me when I'm pondering my tube. I like the artwork, for the record. I think it's cool. It's like the aliens in Fallout 76, the Flatwoods ones. Next up, Elemental Hero Chaos Naos. It's the cover card. Dark attribute, level 9? Is that 9? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Weird. Warrior, fusion, effect. Materials are Elemental Hero Naos, Elemental Hero, Neospatian Dark Panther, and Neospatian Glowmoss. Must first be special summoned from your extra deck by shuffling the above cards you control into the deck. You do not use polymerization. Once per turn, during your end phase, special summon... Where am I? Shuffle this card into the extra deck, and if you do, set all face-up monsters on the field. Once per turn during your main phase 1, you can toss a coin 3 times. 3 heads, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. 2 heads, for the rest of the turn, the effects of all face-up monsters your opponents control are negated. 1 head, return all monsters you control to the hand. 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. Oh, that is weird. Does it do nothing if you have 3 tails? So there's a 1 in 8th chance that this just does nothing? But back to the effect. It's got a lot going on. Shuffles itself back into the extra deck, but sets all face-up monsters on the field. That's not bad. Getting a free Swords of Concealing Light effect could set up for some plays. Destroying all monsters your opponent controls. That's good. That's Raigeki. Very good. 2 heads. Negating all their effects is significantly better now than it used to be. And you get 3 out of 8's chance to get that one. Return all monsters you control to the hand, though. That's really bad. Especially since you have to invest so much out to get the Chaos Naos. So 3/8 of the time, it's really bad. 1/8 of the time, it does nothing. 1/8 of the time, it's pretty good. And then 3/8 of the time, it's sort of good. Those odds. Even if you special summon it directly from the extra deck, I don't know. More gambling, yay! He might be the coolest looking double contact Naos. Not a bad effect either. I don't know. To me, it's filler. A lot of investment that's not worth it, in my opinion. In my opinion, too. It's just... I don't want to return this guy to hand. I don't want to return my whole board to hand. If this card gave you 4 different beneficial effects, but randomly selected between them, maybe we'd get something. The 1/8 chance to do nothing confuses me so much, though. It's like they forgot. Next up, Elemental Hero Plasma Vice. Earth Attribute. Level 8 Warrior Fusion effect. Materials are Elemental Hero Sparkman, Elemental Hero Blade Edge. Must be fusion summoned. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. That's the Blade Edge effect. You can discard 1 card, then target 1 attack position monster your opponent controls. Destroy that target. 2,600 attack, 2,300 defense. This is sort of better than Thunder Giant, to tell the truth. And I guess Sparkman is the reason why it gets that other effect. That's pretty good in archetype. Put him higher than Chamberlain. From Olivia, you would want to get the Raigeki when your opponent has a board and you're behind, but you're way more liable to just lose on the spot. Even the 1/8 to do nothing is probably a loss. The Ghost Rare Rainbow Dragon misprint of Chaos Naos is $2,000? Oh! I've never seen that. Plasma is great in archetype, I agree. Sparkman makes the fusion better, yeah. Best hero. Plasma Vice is also just a sick name, yeah. A lot of love for Plasma Vice. Good artwork, too. Next up, we got Evil Hero Inferno Wing. Fire attribute, level 6, Fiend Fusion effect. Materials are Elemental Hero Avian and Elemental Hero Burstinatrix. Must be special summoned with Dark Fusion. We'll get to that in a bit. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. If this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack or defense, whichever is higher, of that monster in the graveyard. 2100 attack, 1200 defense. You don't get the skyscraper buff on Inferno Wing or any of the evil heroes, which is a bit of a problem. Getting over with 2100 attack is okay. There's a lot of breakpoints that this card just doesn't meet. The requirement of needing Dark Fusion specifically is not very hard. There's a lot of different ways to get around that now. And I think Dark Fusion on its own is not that bad. I wouldn't say that it's as good as Polymerization, but it's not that bad. Just a slightly better Flame Wingman? Yeah. The problem is it's not really it's an evil hero. Inferno Wing is just a straight upgrade of Flame Wingman. The modern evil hero support also lets you use any fusion effect to special summon the evil heroes. Yeah, it's a lot easier now. Next up, Evil Hero Lightning Golem. Light attribute, level 6. Fiend, fusion effect. Materials are Elemental Hero Sparkman and Elemental Hero Clayman. Must be special summoned with Dark Fusion. Once per turn, you can target one monster on the field, destroy that target. 2400 attack, 1500 defense, and yet again, just an upgrade to Thunder Giant. Keep in mind, nowadays, this is targeting and it is destruction. So those are two keywords that a lot of cards are immune to or benefit from. So significantly worse now just because of the way the game evolved, but really decent for the time. And finally, we get the cheesy one, Elemental Hero Dark Gaia. Earth attribute, level 8, Fiend Fusion effect. Materials, 1 Fiend monster plus 1 rock monster. And looking at the artwork, I can see it. Must be special summoned with Dark Fusion. The original attack of this card becomes the combined original attack of the monsters used for its fusion summon. When this card declares an attack, you can change all defense position monsters your opponent controls to face-up attack position. Flip effects are not activated at this time. Question mark attack, 0 defense. How big can you get this guy? I think Ultimate Obedient Fiend is 3500 attack. Finally, that card gets a decent use. And Valkyrion, the Magnet Warrior, I think is 3750. So you can get this guy to 7250 attack at the time, I think. Oh, no, wait. We have the beast. We have the Sacred Beast that's a fiend. What is his name? Lord of Phantasms. So I guess you got a 4000 attack fiend, and you still have Valkyrians, so you get 7,750 attack? That's a lot. Thunder Giant looks cooler, so I'll use him instead. Yeah, I'm petty. Okay. Thunder Giant does look good. I'll always remember Lightning Golem because he was my first red ultra rare I ever found. I didn't even know about red ultra rares until him. I still don't know about red ultra rares. The Dark Fusion restriction is very silly lore-wise, since Jaden used super polymerization to summon some of these evil hero fusions. Oh, that's funny. Mega Rock Dragon with loads of banished rocks could technically be better. Okay. But reasonably, I think like Valkyrion and Raviel, Lord of Phantasms. That's the card name. If you haven't noticed, this card's cheesy. It can get a lot of attack, and it can almost OTK by itself. Very interesting materials, though. It might actually have another gimmick that you could use. Like, with Future Fusion, that's pretty flexible. You could get any fiend you want into the graveyard and any rock. Of course, Future Fusion. Imagine attacking into someone's marshmallow with this. Oh, that'd be sad. Oh, wait a second. Their marshmallow would be in attack mode. That's not sad. Pretty cool card. Next up, we get Super Roid Stealth Union. Machine Fusion Effect. Materials are Truck Roid, Express Roid, Drill Roid, and Stealth Roid. 4 materials is pretty rough. Once per turn, you can target one face-up machine-type monster on the field. Equip that target to this card. So I guess it can be your opponent's. While equipped with a monster by this effect, this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. If this card attacks, its original attack is halved. Why? If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. 3,600 attack, 3,000 defense. When we get Barbaroid, I think Barbaroid is still better than Super Roid Stealth Union. This is 4 specific monsters that you need. And Roids don't get a Miracle Fusion card. They don't get an Overload Fusion card, for instance. So you gotta like have a polymerization and 4 specific monsters. It's so crazy. And the 4 monsters, Drill Roid's okay. Express Roid's great. Stealth Roid's okay. And Truck Roid is, not good. Extra disrespects for anyone running flip effects. Oh, funny. Jace. They made Dystopia the Despondent, which is a 5k attack fiend, so the highest attack dark guy I can have now is 8,750. Pretty good. What I was talking about with the Raviel Lord of Phantasms and the... did we never advance to Super Roid? Oh, I am disrespecting the Roids. The reason I brought up Raviel Lord of Phantasms and Valkyrion is because that is what you can do at the time. Man, we'll have to fix that in post. I care so little for the Roids. I just think the card is way too much of an investment. If they had a future fusion specific to their archetype or a miracle fusion, I think Roids just need a miracle in general to be good. Stealth Union looks a lot like Fortress Maximus. Also, Stealth Roid is just looking at the floor for the entire fusion. That's funny. Next up, we have Super Alloy Beast Raptinus. Light attribute, level 8, Dragon Fusion Effect. Materials are 1 Gemini monster plus 1 Gemini monster. All Gemini monsters on the field are treated as effect monsters and gain their effects. 2,200 attack, 2,200 defense. I want to point out several things about the card. 1, it's a dragon, so you can bring out Dragon's Mirror to get this card out significantly easier. 2, this card has very flexible requirements. Excellent. 3, this card is super cheesy. I think this is the reason why Gemini monsters are so bad, is that they were afraid that if you get out Super Alloy Beast Raptinus, you just get the Gemini effects all the time. And in their defense, ones like Gigaplant are definitely a problem with this card, because Gigaplant, you get another Gigaplant from Graveyard and you just keep looping them. Pretty bad card. But man, on paper, it's not bad. It looks great. I love the artwork. It's a great Frankenstein's monster. But I don't think it ever has any practical applications. Roids need a complete rework to be good. Or they just need the word speed in front of them. Oh, hey, they made that guy into a sword at one point. Cool. Good times. I assume that includes Gemini monsters that hits the field after it's summoned. Yep. Or just the ones on the field when it's summoned. It treats them as effect monsters all the time, I think. Example of something that kind of limits all card design going forward, to be honest. Yep. I can see that. Is it a design mistake is the question. Maybe a little bit. Next up, Gladiator Beast, Gyodias. Dark attribute, level 7, dinosaur, fusion, effect. Materials are Gladiator Beast Spartacus, plus 1 Gladiator Beast monster. So Spartacus, the level 5, a little bit difficult to bring out, but not bad. Oh, I guess that means Spartacus might get elevated. We'll double check and see if Spartacus actually saw play, but because I can recall Gyodias in extra decks. This card can only be special summoned from your fusion deck by returning the above cards you control to the deck. You do not use polymerization. When this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the defense of the destroyed monster. Not bad. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, you can return it to the fusion deck to special summon 2 Gladiator Beast monsters from your deck, except Gladiator Beast Spartacus. 2600 attack, 1500 defense. This one makes sense that it can't get you Spartacus. I can understand that. But the card's great. Tagging out into 2 particular ones is also really good. It's just so much potential that you can just unlock with it. I think it is a design mistake for Super Alloy Beast. You could just not know Geminis exist and Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be largely the same game nowadays, and support like this guarantees that? Yeah. Okay. I guess one question is, has Super Alloy Beast Raptinus ever been used for anything other than cheese? I don't think so. Next up, Gladiator Beast Heraklinos. Fire attribute, level 8, Beast Warrior, fusion, effect. Materials are Gladiator Beast Lakari, plus 2 Gladiator Beast monsters. Must first be special summoned from your extra deck by shuffling the above cards you control into the deck. You do not use polymerization. During either player's turn, when a spell or trap is activated, you can discard 1 card, negate the activation, and destroy it. This card must be face up on the field to activate and to resolve this effect. 3000 attack, 2800 defense. Oh boy, this is your boss monster. And it's a pretty good one. It has a level of defense. You know, it's sort of better than Dark Paladin because it can hit trap cards too. That's a lot of negation. It does cost you cards in hand, but so does Herald of Perfection. Really decent effect. Decent body, 3000 attack. Little bit expensive. Requires specifically Lakari, but you can sort of get around that when we get Elemental Hero Prisma, for instance. Konami has got to be juggling a list of cards to keep actively unusable by avoiding certain targets from being viable, which overall complicates card text and the game. Like, even a card is not going to be made good, I think that it's annoying. Heraklinos, some of you may be discarded, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make. Yeah. Heraklinos is great. It's interesting that you can't tag him out into 3 other Gladiator Beasts, so it is a commitment, but it's not that hard. Next up, Contact Out. Quick play spell. Return one Neos fusion you control to the fusion deck. If all the fusion materials listed on that fusion monster are in your deck, you can special summon them. This card is like defusion, except you can't use it on your opponent's monsters. It only works on Neos. Is this card useful? Maybe. If you want to dodge spot removal, if you want to tag out your big fusion monster, get back your Neos, and attack again in the same battle phase, that's okay. This card does list Neos fusion monster. I think this card is searchable now. I think it's okay. There is possibly a combo that I'm not thinking of with Contact Out. Next up, Swing of Memories. Normal spell. Target one normal monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but destroy it during the end phase of this turn. Boy. There's some serious potential with Swing of Memories. I think it's too slow now. But this is one of the boons that normal monsters really wanted. Keep in mind, for a long time, Monster Reborn, not in the game. Or I guess on the ban list, so functionally not in the game. This is Monster Reborn. Sorta. It's so much better than, what is it, Soul Reincarnation and Birthright, which are two other ones that sort of replace Call of the Haunted. Now we get to replace Monster Reborn. Not bad. This is an anime outro card. Just needs credits over it. Aw. Getting cards out of the deck is conceptually very powerful. Yes. And the Neospatians, some of them are okay to get onto the field. The targets aren't there. I think we'd need another set of Neospatians for this card to even be useful. But yeah, Swing of Memories was used, I think, in Blue Eyes decks is the main thing that was using it. But there's a few points in the history of the game where this is a decent combo extender. Next up, Dark Fusion. Normal spell. Fusion summon one Fiend Fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. Your opponent cannot target it with card effects this turn. Only works on Fiends. And it's hand or field, so the same as polymerization. And it gives you a little bit of protection, just protection from targeting, which is not bad. This card's searchable. I don't think the evil heroes are meta, but I think this card is pretty splashable anyway. I don't know how high I want to put it, though. I don't want to put it in worth considering today because there are better options. Evil heroes have gotten some support that, you need to play Dark Fusion, I think, because some cards reference it. At least it works with any Fiend, not just the evil heroes. Yeah, I like that. I think it's good. Next up, Diamond Dust Cyclone. Quick play spell. Select one monster with 4 or more fog counters. Destroy it, then draw one card for every 4 fog counters that were on it. Ooh. Spot removal. Quick play spell. It just requires 4 fog counters, which is a lot. And some of the cards which accumulate fog counters are on your side of the field. But this is also card draw. This could be a +1, maybe even a +2 quick play removal spell. It's just getting to 4 is such a big number is the hard part. This is what I mean, that Cloudians get like a couple pretty decent cards. I don't know if it's even good in archetype, because 4 is just such a big number. I don't care if you have a sparkly twister, Konami. I'm not playing Cloudians. Oh yeah? What if they have Summon Cloud? Continue a spell once per turn during your main phase. If you don't control any monsters, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Cloudian monster from your hand or from either player's graveyard. If you special summon a monster from the graveyard with this effect, destroy this card. This is a soft once per turn. It can destroy itself, but this is really good in archetype. It's a free special summon from hand if, you know, you're fairly early in the game, probably on your first turn. Late game, this is a pretty decent recovery option. It even gets from your opponent's graveyard, which is totally going to happen. This card's really good in archetype. And I'll take your Summon Cloud and raise you a Lucky Cloud. Normal spell. During the end phase, if you summoned 2 or more Cloudian monsters with the same name this turn, draw 2 cards. Draw 2 cards. Draw 2 cards. This card's Pot of Greed, except it only works in the end phase. And you sort of need to summon 2 monsters with the same name, which is a little bit hard. But I guess you could get this out with Rescue Rabbit, to tell the truth. You Rescue Rabbit, you bring out your 2 smoke balls, you activate Lucky Cloud, you get a +1 during the end phase, draw 2 cards. So Cloudians, so a Cloudian Call of the Mummy, but adds the graveyard. Yeah, interesting. Summon Cloud looks so ominous. Wow, that sucks. If Lucky Cloud were in, like, Satellar Knights, this card would be a fantastic card. Maybe not if 2 of the same name. 2 of the same name is a little bit difficult, but there are ways to do it. It's pretty good in archetype. It's called Lucky Cloud because you gotta be lucky to even get to use it, and that's fair. You can set it up, though, with like a floater. Next up, Fog Control. Quick play spell. Tribute 1 face-up Cloudian monster you control. Place 3 fog counters on 1 face-up monster. Darn, it's only 3. If it were 4, then I guess you could, you know, use the twister. This is, what is it, A-Cell Scatterburst from Aliens. They tried this already. You get 3 fog counters. You don't even get the decency of getting fog counters equal to the level of the monster. I guess you could get 8 fog counters off of, like, Eye of the Typhoon. 8 fog counters for going -2. I don't know. Cloudians, more like Clownians. Next up, Cloudian Squall. Hey, it's like that Mermail card. Continue a spell. During each of your standby phases, place 1 fog counter on every face-up monster. This is, what is it, A-Cell Breeder from Aliens. We already have this card, it's just wet now. And I think it was underwhelming in Aliens too. We'll just put that in bad. I think we're actually downgrading these. Next up, back to Gemini support. Super Double Summon. We already got normal double summon. What does Super Double Summon do? Select 1 Gemini monster you control and normal summon it. During the end phase of this turn, return it to your hand. Why? I don't understand why this card exists, and why they think it's an upgrade to double summon. Because you'd normal summon your Gemini monster, You'd activate double summon. You'd summon your Gemini monster again, be able to get the effect off of it. I guess this is a quick play spell, so it could be disruption, but most of the Gemini effects aren't particularly good. I don't know when you use this card. Well, at least you could run both. Yeah, I guess this is 4, 5, and 6 copies of double summon. Those clouds would make a nice pen design. That would be cool. Oh boy, I can switch the battle position of a monster now. Yep, it's got Infinity Dark on the artwork. It's sad to be surpassed by the card that you're referencing. Next up, Colosseum, Cage of the Gladiator Beast. Field spell. Place 1 counter on this card each time a monster is special summoned from either player's deck. All Gladiator Beast monsters gain 100 attack and defense for each of the counters on this card. If this card would be destroyed by a card effect, you can discard 1 Colosseum Cage of the Gladiator Beasts to prevent this card from being destroyed. That is so specific that you need 2 copies of it, or you need a copy in hand just to prevent the destruction of this card. It's a field spell. It is slowly making your Gladiator Beasts more formidable. That's true. You're getting like 1 or 2 activations each turn. More if your opponent is running floater monsters. And then you're gaining 100, 200, 300, 500 attack after a few rounds. If you're afraid of it being popped, you could discard another copy of it. If you just had to discard a card, it'd be better. If you just had to discard a spell card, it'd still be better, but it wouldn't be great. I don't know. You can run terraforming. I just don't think the effect is particularly good. If this card floated into a Gladiator Beast, that would be interesting. I guess it's a spell card, so it wouldn't trigger their effect, but it'd still be interesting. I think the card's just bad, though. In a world where Gemini effects were good, everyone would want this, yep. Now, let's get to the equip cards. First is Gladiator Beast's Battle Halberd. Equip spell. Equip only to a Gladiator Beast monster. When it attacks, destroy 1 spell or trap at the end of the damage step. Not bad. When the equipped monster is returned from your side of the field to the deck, and this card is sent to the graveyard, return this card to your hand. Hey, it recycles itself. But it's significantly better designed than, like, Butterfly Dagger Elma, which is good. I think it's okay. I think the option of your opponent going 2 for 1 is still really strong. It's not hard for your opponent to, pop your Gladiator Beast before it gets in. But this is also, recurring card advantage, which is really strong. They were obsessed with counters this set. Yeah, I wonder why. Next is Gladiator Beast's Battle Gladius. No, not normal spell. Equip spell. Equip only to a Gladiator Beast monster. It gains 300 attack. Man, it even looks like Butterfly Dagger Alma. When the equipped monster is returned from your side of the field to the deck, and this card is sent to the graveyard, return this card to your hand. What? But the Halberd didn't give you any stats, but was recurring card advantage, recurring spell and trap removal. This gives you Butterfly Dagger Elma stats, and that's it. This card's really bad. Third option is Gladiator Beast Battle Manica. Equip spell. Equip only to a Gladiator Beast monster. It cannot be destroyed by battle. Damage calculation is applied normally. When the equipped monster is returned from your side of the field to the deck, and this card is sent to the graveyard, return this card to your hand. This one makes so much sense in archetype. It doesn't give you any stats, but at least you're going to survive any battle that you're involved in. That is really significant for the way that the deck plays. You're already running Wabaku and defensive tactics. I can definitely see siding in Battle Manica, especially when you're in formats that don't have a lot of spell and trap removal. Manica is the clear winner. Woo! 300 attack! I love this era of the game where you open a pack and you either get a whole pack of Gemini or Union or something that does counters, and none of them are even remotely good. I remember when I was younger, I thought Battle Manica was a worm-like monster and not an arm. Oh, that would be terrifying if your equips were like monsters that fuse to your body. That is awesome. We'll think about that at a different day. Moving into their general support, we get Gladiator Beast Respite, and look at Alexander just meditating or taking a nap while in midair, like an albatross. Shuffle 2 Gladiator Beast monsters from your hand into the deck, then draw 3 cards. This is Moray of Greed, except for Gladiator Beasts, which is not bad. You can get bricks when you're playing Gladiator Beast because they don't special summon from hand or deck, so putting your bricks back into the deck, not bad. This is hand fixing, this is draw acceleration, it thins your deck, not bad at all. Okay, so the gem looked like an eye, and that's why you thought it was a worm. Doing a bunch of parasitic monster equips would play into the theme pretty well. Yeah. Konami, write this down, write this down. It would be some great body horror. Like, what is it that I'm thinking of where there are the organic weapons that are creatures that fuse to your body? That would be pretty cool. Biopunk, I think is the word. Next up, Gladiator's Return. Normal spell. Target 3 Gladiator Beast monsters in your graveyard. Shuffle all 3 targets into the deck, then draw 1 card. It's a Jar of Avarice for Gladiator Beasts. Completely respectable. Get some of your key combo pieces back to where you need them. 1-for-1 draw. Thins out your deck a little bit. Not bad. I guess it doesn't thin out your deck because it returns more than it uses. But you are functionally playing less cards. It's not as good as Upstart Goblin, but it still does something pretty important for the deck. The Guyver, I know what it is. Parasite, Paraseed-like, yeah. I remember the Guyver. That is a weird anime. Next up, we have Soul Devouring Bamboo Sword. Artwork is freaky. Continue a spell. Select 1 monster equipped with a Bamboo Sword equipped spell card. If it inflicts battle damage to your opponent while equipped with the Bamboo Sword card, they skip their next draw phase. Destroy this card during your second standby phase after activation. This is Yatagarasu's effect on a bamboo sword. So it requires the broken bamboo sword, which is not good. So you require a brick and a continuous spell, and your payoff is Time Seal. Potentially Time Seal 3 times, and that's it. Sickest artwork in the set so far? Yeah. Konami doesn't learn? Yeah. This card is both very bad, but also a little scary. I'm glad it's not better. Same thing as Cloudian Altus. Next up, we have Cunning of the Six Samurai. What is it? Kaningu? Quick play spell. Send one face-up Six Samurai monster you control to the graveyard, then target one Six Samurai monster in either player's graveyard. Special summon that target. This card is deceptively interesting. It doesn't care about levels. So you can get one of your weaker Six Samurais, send it to the graveyard, get a Grandmaster, get the Legendary, get, I believe it's, what is the Legendary one? Is she and the Synchro Monster a Six Samurai? I can't remember. Okay, yeah. Legendary Six Samurai Shien. So you can get back your Shien, which is pretty important. This card is really good. A lot of flexibility. A lot of recovery options. In fairness, it just says a bamboo sword card. That's true. Just a bamboo sword card. Not necessarily broken bamboo sword. That's interesting in a mirror match. Stealing an opponent's Six Samurai would be really fun. Yeah, I agree with that. Unlike the other cards, your opponent might have Six Samurais in the grave. Yeah, in the mirror, this is real strong. You could even counter someone's Cunning with your own set copy of Cunning. Sort of like how Wavering Eyes worked. I'd say that that's a pretty cunning insight. Next up, A Cell Incubator. Continue a spell. Each time an A counter is removed from play by a card effect, place one A counter on this card. When this card is destroyed, distribute the A counters on this card among face-up monsters. So this card doesn't net you any A counters. It just recycles the A counters that you've already accumulated. Any card that removes A counters from anywhere in the field, though, does work with this, which is nice. It's cool art, yeah. I'm sick of this card since it's always the first card alphabetically when I search cards on Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression. Oh man. Hate this card because of its name, yeah. So the A counters are like weird alien eyeball guys? Yep. They're like parasites, I think. Be cool to see the A counters like in the anime. I think this card's just bad. It's too slow. It's a little finicky too. It doesn't net you advantage like it should, I think. Next up, we have Over Limit, which is apparently a reference to a manga. Like a specific panel in a manga about boxing, where the character is forced to fast and wants to break his fast by drinking water, but it realizes that the sink has been tied up to prevent him from doing it. Pretty cool reference. It's a little surprising that they got away with, you know, copying a particular panel from the manga. But what does it do? Normal trap, pay 500 life points, special summon from both players' graveyards as many normal monsters as possible with 1,000 or less attack that were destroyed by battle this turn. It just reads so decent until that last part. In its defense, human wave tactics exists, so your opponent can just keep crashing into your meat shield normal monsters, and I guess with Over Limit you'd bring them all back. it just doesn't quite work out. Limit Reverse is sort of like this card, but better, I think. I think it's just bad. Maybe very bad. Tomorrow Joe is the manga. Thank you. I'm glad I got the context. The artwork and name always confused me. Yeah, me too. Next up, no entry. Normal trap. Change all attack position monsters to defense position. Don't we already have this card? Isn't this what Earthquake does? Okay, yeah. Oh, Earthquake, change all face-up monsters on the field to defense position. Change all attack position monsters to defense position. Wait a second. Are they implying that you can't change defense position monsters to defense position? Is that what the card's supposed to read like? I don't know. This card is like Earthquake, but it's a trap. But Earthquake's not particularly good. Surprising your opponent with an Earthquake? I don't know. Dream Clown be dreaming with this card. Works on face down attack position monsters. Oh, that is the smallest corner case ever. To be fair, no entry can be used on your opponent's turn. That's fair. It could be a decent disruption tool. Of course, Windstorm of Etiqua sort of fills that niche too. Next up, Natural Disaster. Continuous trap. Inflict 500 damage to your opponent each time a card's they control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard by the effect of a Cloudian monster. When is this going to pay off? If you have Acid Cloud or Altus, then you're popping cards and then dealing a little bit of burn damage. If you get this effect off one time, then this is Hinotama on a trap that you had to wait around, which is not good. If you get this off 2 times, it's Meteor of Destruction, which is not good because it's still a trap, have to wait around. You have to get this off 3 times for it to start being somewhat reasonable. I guess it's a continuous trap, not a lot of spell and trap removal at the time, so you could conceivably keep it around. It's recurring burn damage. It doesn't do anything. I think this card is very bad. It's really hard to pop cards in Cloudians, just because the fog counters are so hard to bring out. No entry sucks because links exist. That's true. Is the monster in the artwork an actual Cloudian? I don't remember if so. I don't think so. I think there is room for new Cloudian art. New Cloudians are predicted, I guess. Bad. All Cloudian and bad. What about Rainstorm, though? Normal trap. Select one Cloudian monster you control. Reduce that monster's attack by 1 or 2,000 points and apply the appropriate effect. 1,000 points. Destroy 1 spell or trap your opponent controls. 2,000 points. Destroy 2 spell or trap cards your opponent controls. Wow. This is Mystical Space Typhoon that costs 1,000 attack points. That's pretty bad. Or this is Twin Twisters without the discard cost, but it costs you 2,000 attack points, and there aren't that many Cloudians that are even at that level. That's Nimbus Man and Typhoon, I believe, are the only 2 that naturally get to that level. Cloudians, what are you doing? You can give my Storm You can give my Storm Seas, Konami. I'm not playing Cloudians. Not yet. What about Updraft? Normal trap. Remove all fog counters from the field. Inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each fog counter you remove. They're so hard to get out already. This is the worst way to use them. I wonder if there's an OTK. It's just so hard to get out the fog counters, though. Next up, we have Release from Stone. Continuous Trap. Select one of your removed from play rock-type monsters and special summon it. When this card is removed from the field, destroy that monster. When that monster is destroyed, destroy this card. Oh, I guess if you attribute your monster, this card stays around too. Like Call of the Haunted. I thought they fixed that. I think if this card were released in the Invincible Fortress structure deck a couple years ago, the deck still wouldn't be good, but it'd be better. We get Escape from the Dark Dimension in one set, I believe. And that's all dark monsters. And this is just rocks. Granted, you do banish a lot of rocks. You got Gigantas, Gigastone Omega, which hasn't come out yet, Mega Rock Dragon, Rock Spirit. I think it's filler. My god! Updraft was a secret rare in the set. Imagine that being your secret rare for a pack. That'd be so sad. Cloudian cards ask you to take out a second mortgage for 4 fog counters, and then you have the option of removing them to do one thing. That's true. Let's get to some good cards at least. Next up, Light Imprisoning Mirror. Continuous Trap. Negate all light monsters' effects activated on the field or in the graveyard. Ooh, really good card. The question is, do we consider a Continuous Trap Floodgate side deck worthy today? And while you think about that, let's get to the other mirror. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. Continuous Trap. Negate all dark monsters' effect activated on the field or in the graveyard. Situational, but a lot of good monsters are light or dark. I guess there's even room for like a Chaos Imprisoning Mirror that could come out now that could do light and dark. A little bit of power creep, but I don't think it would be that bad. Given how prevalent light and dark monsters are, it's viable today, maybe? They're not bad floodgates. I just don't know if they're as good as like Soul Drain and Skill Drain and Mind Drain and Debunk, and there's a lot of negation that you could play around with. It's a timeless card since it's generic. Okay. We'll say keep it in the back of your mind. I think that's a good place for it. Onto our counter traps. First is Disarm. Return 1 Gladiator Beast monster from your hand to the deck and negate the activation of a spell card and destroy it. So this is a -1, but it sends it back to the deck. For Gladiator Beasts, that's probably better than it ending up in the graveyard, to be honest. So this is sort of like Magic Jammer, but a little bit different flavor. It makes sense in archetype, but I'm not sure if you're running it over Magic Jammer or Magic Drain or Spell Shield type 8 for your counter trap. I just don't think it's quite up to par. There are generic options which are pretty much better. It's a Skill Drain and Soul Drain for light or dark monsters, yeah. You don't get a tag from it, sadly. Yeah, that's true. Its counterpart is Parry. Its counter trap counterpart. Return 1 Gladiator Beast monster from your hand to the deck, negate the activation and effect of a trap card, and destroy it. I think this is worse. Like, what trap cards do you want to negate that you can't negate with 7 Tools of the Bandit? That one, 1,000 life points, no questions asked beyond that. Sometimes you could go 1-for-1 with Trap Jammer if it's during the battle phase, and yeah, a lot of your disruption in Gladiator Beast is going to be in the battle phase. So I just don't think it does what you need for the archetype. Next up, Swift Strike Armor. Continuous trap. During your draw phase, each time you draw 6 Samurai monster cards, you can reveal it, special summon it. Ooh, spicy. I like how it says each time you draw. So if you do have quick effects during the draw phase, like hand distraction, for instance, you could cycle through and special summon more monsters. It's a continuous trap, recurring, heavy quotation marks, recurring Destiny Hero Dasher effect. It sort of reminds me of Heart of the Underdog too, but I think I'd prefer draw power. It is some definite acceleration. It gives 6 samurais some serious speed, which is great. But that's it. Jara Good looking pretty good with this. I think it was played, but if it wasn't, I think there's some experimentation that could have been done. Next up, double-edged sword technique. Target 2 6 samurai monsters in your graveyard, special summon those targets in attack position. During the end phase of this turn, destroy them, and if you do, take damage equal to those destroyed monsters' attack. This is revival? It doesn't care about levels? Not now. But in a little while, you can just get a tuner and a non-tuner out of your graveyard, set up for a synchro summon. They're gone by the end phase, so you don't take any damage. This card is really strong. You can do it during your opponent's turn. You can also destroy other 6 samurais instead of the ones that you want to. Maybe take a little bit less damage or avoid the effect that way. Really strong. Totally worth it. I think if you're waiting 2 more turns to get cards on the field, at least this is more consistent. Very versatile. Yeah, double sword is great. Next up, energy absorbing monolith. Trap. Chain this card to an opponent's card effect that would inflict damage to you. That damage is negated, and you gain life points equal to the amount that you would have taken. I believe Rainbow Life is just better than this card. It only works one time. I think it's underwhelming, especially if your opponent is doing loops for damage. There's a card in 2 sets, Hanewa, that just stops effect damage for the turn. This card's pretty outclassed already. There's also Barrel Behind the Door, where your opponent would just take the damage instead of you. Would you prefer to gain life points or deal damage to your opponent? I'd much prefer to deal damage to my opponent. Plus it's a counter trap, so it's harder for them to respond to it. I think this card is just very bad. If you could activate it from your hand, no, it still wouldn't be good. But it'd be a little better. It would be funny if you activated Samochi in response to this card. Oh, if your opponent activated bad reaction of Samochi so that you would still take the damage. Gotcha. Some cards seem to assume burn effects are doing 8,000 damage at once, commonly, and not like 300 every couple duels. Yeah. It's the 300 over and over and over again that's the problem, though. I think the biggest burn card I can think of is Spiritual Fire Art Kurenai, reasonably doing like 2,800 damage. That's a big number, at least. Are aliens elevated by a single card? Because we get the trap Cell Explosion Virus. Activate only when an opponent's monster with an A counter declares an attack. Destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. If you look closely in the background, you sort of see like Mirror Force. This is sort of like Mirror Force. They only need one monster with an A counter, and then it just pops all the other monsters. That's pretty decent. Keep in mind the state the game's in, but this is the card that makes me want to play around with aliens. At least in this format. I swear, the goblins can't catch a break in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, Alien Mirror Force. I miss pre-errata Ring of Destruction. Oh. Speaking of which, we got Detonator Circle A. Normal trap, destroy one face-up monster with an A counter, and then inflict 1000 damage to each player. So, this is not Ring of Destruction. This is not even Destruction Ring. Destruction Ring only hits your monsters, so this can at least be 1-for-1 removal. And I guess the burn damage is whatever. It is symmetric after all. Still, spot removal is not bad. I think we put in acceptable in archetype. Joke's on you, I gain 1000 life points. If I remember, Mirror Force was either banned or limited, yeah. Not bad for the time when Mirror Force was limited, true. We can cause a tie at least, that's bad. The one that breaks the trend for me at least is Interdimensional Warp. Normal trap, select a monster you control and a monster with an A counter your opponent controls. Switch control of those monsters. I don't know if this is better than Creature Swap. Because it's a trap, it's... I don't know. Doing this during the battle phase. Switching up things. That would be interesting. Like you attack with your monster and then you give them your monster. But then your monster is an alien monster, which means if they have A counters, which they need to for this card to work, then you're losing attack points when you attack into your own monster? That's not good. You could give them one of the dud alien monsters that doesn't have that card text. I don't know. I think this card's just outclassed. The idea of a trap version of Creature Swap is pretty tempting. That part is pretty cool. This card is low-key terrifying if it was happening in real life. Oh man. Interplanetary Invader A is freaky? So we had Foolish Burial. Now it's time for Foolish Revival. Normal trap. Select one monster from your opponent's graveyard and special summon it in face-up defense position on your opponent's side of the field. When is this useful? When do I want to go -2 to give my opponent more board presence? I guess if you're special summoning a Cloudian from your opponent's graveyard, then it would just self-destruct. And you'd effectively go -1 and do nothing? I don't understand when you would use this. Like, Foolish Burial is great. Foolish Burial Goods is great. Foolish Revival. It actually sounds like a foolish card. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it either. This is followed by An Unfortunate Report. This is a contender for one of the worst cards in the game? Period? Normal trap. Your opponent conducts their next battle phase twice. Why would you want to do this? So Mischief of the Time Goddess gives you a second battle phase. That card's great. Sort of. It requires Valkyries, and it's a little bit more restrictive than it was in the anime, but at least it makes sense. This card is a reference, I believe, to Weather Report, where if Weather Report hit the Swords of Revealing Light your opponent had, you get an extra battle phase for free. Unfortunate Report. Unfortunately, I don't think this card works with Mystical Ref Panel. If it did, if it interacted the way that you wanted it to, where you'd redirect it with Ref Panel and then you'd get a second battle phase, I still don't think that this card would be great, but it'd be a little bit better. This is the reason why so many other cards say during each battle phase, because you could technically have two. Really unfortunate card. Could, like, in theory, use it with cards like Rivalry of Warlords? Oh, Foolish Revival with Rivalry of Warlords. Interesting. Really unfortunate card. But it would be very much depend on the opponent playing a multi-type deck. Oh, still talking about the other one. I love the attention to detail that the graph on the report crashes spectacularly. Yep. Use unfortunate... Where'd you go? Use unfortunate report with all-out attacks and the rock structure deck stuff that would deal double battle damage when getting attacked. Unfortunate because now every card has to say each battle phase. Yep. This card changed so many card effects, just like my boy Frog the Jam. Yep. Can we put it in design mistake? Would the game be better if this card never existed? Yes. Does this card single-handedly cause a ton of errata? Yes. Are we just going to move past this card and pretend like it never existed? Yes. Next up, Gladiator Beast Torox. Water, level 3, fish, effect. This card, if this card was special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, at the end of any battle phase that this card attacked or was attacked, you can return it to the deck to draw one card. 1400 attack, 400 defense. I like this card a lot, even though it doesn't tag out like normal Gladiator Beasts. I like Torax because it gives you a grindy option if you want it. Like Murmillo is popping monsters, excellent. Bestiari, popping spells and traps, excellent. You got Alexander and, what is the other one? Dimakari is getting multiple attacks. Sector is getting card advantage. I like how Torox fits in, even though that it doesn't tag out. I think it's just a nice option. And because Gladiator Beasts are so toolboxy, it's a card that you can run one of and only use it when the correct situation arises, which I think is really cool. Genuinely, I think cards like this should be reconnected out of existence. The game is measurably worse when cards need smaller font size, especially as someone with bad vision. Oh. The fish is so large, his tail looks like it's stuck on his neck. He's a puffer fish. He's not really that long. Oh, retconned. Cards like that should be retconned out of existence. I gotcha. More Gladiator Beast support with Test Tiger. We had Test Ape, now Test Tiger. Earth Attribute, level 3, Beast Effect. If you control a face-up Gladiator Beast monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. That on its own is fantastic. You contribute this card to target one face-up Gladiator Beast monster you control. Shuffle that target into the deck, Then special summon one Gladiator Beast monster from your deck, and treat it as if it was special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster. It is a little bit awkward that they could have just called it, Gladiator Beast Test Tiger, and then you wouldn't have to have such awkward wording, but ignore that. This card is the acceleration that the deck really needs. It's your playmaker. It's your starter. It is board presence. It is link fodder. It is the card that you want in the deck. Test Tiger is fantastic. Test Tiger almost elevates it a little bit higher than it should be, just because it adds so much speed to the deck. We'll probably put you guys down next to Torox, to be honest. But Test Tiger is great. Put Dimikari a little higher, and then Sector. Here we go. I still have my first edition Test Tiger I pulled years ago. Good times. Good card. It's a little bit resistant to power creep, too. I like the card a lot. So much better than Test Ape. I mentioned this card like 3 or 4 times. Defensive Tactics. Normal Trap. If you control a face-up Gladiator Beast monster, for the rest of this turn, monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle, and any battle damage you take is reduced to 0. After this card resolves, put it on the bottom of your deck. This card is functionally very similar to Wabaku. And Wabaku in Gladiator Beasts is essential. You play this card, but I don't think you want to tell the truth. I think this is a begrudging include. If there were a better option in Gladiator Beasts, you'd run it. Test Tiger is still integral to the deck, even with the modern support. True. I think Test Tiger isn't a Glad Beast itself because they didn't want you to summon it with a Glad Beast effect. Oh. That could make sense. I wonder why more cards don't go onto the bottom of the deck. I'm glad this one does, especially with all the shuffling the archetype does. Yeah. Bait Doll shuffles itself into the deck, for what that's worth. Okay, the next 3 cards. Jim-Jamatic, you beat me to it. The next 3 monsters after Test Tiger were Konami Monster Design Contest winners. How'd you beat me to it? I have the original artwork. These cards are cool. I honestly think that some of the original artwork is better. I think the proportions on Dragonites are a little off in the original artwork, but the colors are so much better. You got the red in the background, the blue's more appealing. I guess it doesn't look as icy as it does in its artwork. They took away the icicle shards that's breathing out, like a ice-breathing dragon. I'm not saying that the artwork that Konami went with is bad. I'm just disappointed by it. But this isn't evaluating, how well visually converted these cards were. We're going to talk about their actual effects. Water Attribute, level 5, Dragon Effect. When your opponent special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can discard 1 card, special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. There can only be 1 Dragonites on the field. 1800 attack, 2200 defense. The fact that this card, well, 1, it's a level 5 water monster, so you could normal summon it without tribute if you wanted to, and have an 1800 beater. Okay. But more importantly, the fact that this card can recycle itself makes it way more interesting. I think Cyber Dinosaur, which isn't out yet, but is a pretty similar card, is better than Dragon Ice. But this could be not recurring card advantage, but, recurring board presence at the very least. It doesn't really have the same stats that it needs, though, like Stego Cyber, for instance. Is it better than filler? Is there a water deck that can use this? Yes. There is a water deck that can use this. You could use this in frogs. Similar to Green Baboon, Defender of the Forest. It's neat, yeah. But Green Baboon's so much better because it doesn't require to discard. The original art has a more interesting shape to its skull. Looks a lot cooler, yeah. Dragon Eyes was used in Mermail Atlantean. Oh, okay, that's fair. Okay, I understand. Because mermails do like to be discarded by water monsters. That is a good reason to run it. I knew there was a use for you. Okay. Next up is Tongue Twister. And again, I think there's something wrong with the conversion. I think the improvement is they gave it little claws to stand on. The original artwork, has a lot of trouble, doesn't look stable. I like the way that it curves around. It's like a coiled snake too. Or I guess it's a twisted tongue. But man, they got rid of the red. The red looks so much better. And like the eye is veinier in the original artwork. To me, it's more fiendish. But they did improve the fangs. I don't know. I'd say that this one, give or take. The foil, as seen in the artwork, is pretty good though. I like the foil. It's a very pretty card. Dark Attribute, level 6, Fiend effect. If this card was tribute summoned, when it is sent from the field to the graveyard, draw 2 cards and remove this card from play. 400 attack, 300 defense. You gotta tribute a monster to get out this card. And then it's a win effect. So this card can miss the timing. Theoretically, this is something you could use in Monarchs for draw power? Because it sort of functions like a Monarch? You read this card and it says draw 2 cards and you get excited and then you think about it and then you realize it can miss the timing and then, oh man, it's all going downhill. Can Alos be normal summoned? Oh. Can Altus be normal summoned under Alo? Yes, it can. But it wouldn't work. Its potential was ruined when its banish/draw 2 effect has to happen when it's sent to there and not just being in the graveyard in general. Yeah. If it were an if effect, it'd be so much better. Because then you could use it as synchro material, you could tribute it for another summon. Cards that resolve sequentially wouldn't force it to miss the timing. It's just not good the way it is. The third card in this contest is Screech. And I just love the sketch style. I think no background, that's an improvement. The background's definitely an improvement, but man, Konami, you didn't quite hit the mark on this one either. Oh, it's a mandatory effect on Tongue Twister. Oh, I guess it is. Fell asleep and missed the premiere, Lamron? Truly my worst nightmare? Oh, I'm sorry. At least you're here now, and there's still a lot of cards in the set. Well, not in the set, just in general. And some good ones coming up. Anyway, back to Screech. I like the name. It's a good name. I love one-word names in Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't see a lot of them. Water Attribute, level 4, Reptile, effect. If this card is destroyed by battle, send 2 water monsters from your deck to the graveyard. 1500 attack, 400 defense. I don't know how I feel about this card, because it reads like double Foolish Burial in a water deck. That's great. The condition, though, is a little bit too hard to use. it's a battle floater that doesn't float into something else. So that's hard. That's a hard sell for me. It's setup. It's Treeborn Frog. It's Ronin Totem. It's any water monster, actually. It's really good water monster setup. Tidal, the Dragon Ruler. There's a lot of stuff that you could do with Screech. I think the potential is really high. The ceiling is very high, but getting to it, I don't think we're quite there. Also gives worm vibes. Ooh. Screech looks like a Digimon, like a bat. Did this guy ever get experimented in mermails? I don't think so. But man, getting Dragoons off of this, that would be good. I think we're just going to keep it in filler. I think we're going to put Tongue Twister into bad. We're going to put Tongue Twister into very bad. Okay. Can get the artwork off. And now, Royal Firestorm Guards. Fire attribute, level 4, Pyro, effect. If this card is normal summoned, target 4 Pyro monsters in your graveyard, shuffle all 4 into the deck, then draw 2 cards. 1700 attack, 1200 defense. This is a +2 on summon, but you need some setup. But that setup's not that hard in like Laval decks or Volcanic decks or maybe Flamvel decks. It's not crazy. I feel like this card doesn't have a home is the problem. By the time that fire decks, or I guess pyro decks, really start getting good, like with Snake Eye, I think the game's too fast for Royal Firestorm Guards. It's not a bad recovery option, but it's not a playmaker is the problem. I think the card is really good in a deck that never hit its prime, and that's sad. Was a staple in 2014 Volcanic decks. Oh. Oh, right. When Blaze Accelerator Reload came out. I do remember that. That was brief, though. Okay. Maybe he did have a moment in the sun. Next up, Veil of Darkness. Continuous spell. During your draw phase, if you draw a dark monster, you can reveal any number of them, send them to the graveyard, then you can draw 1 more card. I think Veil of Darkness reads amazingly? Sort of. This is deck acceleration. It's not once per turn. You can potentially hit like Heart of the Underdog. Just boom, 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 boom. Fill your graveyard with dark monsters. That's not bad. Is this better than like Card Trader? Probably. Graveyard setup's good. Dark monsters like to be in the graveyard. Pretty decent in zombies, for instance. I think everyone thinks that the card is broken, but then they use it and then, you know, half the time it doesn't work because you don't draw a dark monster. It's also optional, so you don't have to send it to the graveyard. So it's a little flexible. Teledad decks would love this card. Well, it's available in Teledad. If you change some kind of draw effect, then it could be pretty consistent. Yeah, I guess with Hand Destruction or Reload. If Veil of Darkness didn't send but discarded instead, it would be insane in Dark Worlds. Yeah, it would be insane in Dark Worlds if it triggered them properly. But right now it's, I don't know. Would you run this in? It has anti-synergy with Burning Abyss. They require you to not run spell and traps to special summon themselves. But theoretically, if you did have this card in a Burning Abyss deck, you could go through a lot of your Burning Abyss monsters. That'd be cool. I think we're gonna elevate this card to gimmick status. Next up, we got Security Orb. Normal trap. Activate only when your opponent's monster declares an attack. Change the battle position of that monster. When this face-down card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard by the effect of a spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy one monster on the field. I really don't like this trend of like Dark Coffin style cards. Kozaki's self-destruct button that require your opponent to destroy them. The upside though is, I guess, this card rotates one monster one time if you want it to. So it's not dead all the time like Dark Coffin. Popping a monster is okay, but I think this card is just outclassed by Sakuratsu Armor, or another card that comes out like immediately after Dimensional Prison, especially. Was used in Duel Links in some meta decks. That's fair. Duel Links is not the main game, though. Next up, Necroface. Dark Attribute, level 4, zombie effect. If this card is normal summoned, shuffle all banished cards into the deck. Does that include face-down banished cards? Can this card get your face-down banished cards back? This card gains 100 attack for each card shuffled into the main deck by this effect. If this card is banished, each player banishes 5 cards from the top of their deck, or their entire deck if they have less than 5. Not once per turn. So, you can consistently mill a lot of cards with Necroface, because if Necroface banishes another Necroface, which could banish another Necroface, that's 15 cards out of the deck. There are ways that you could really abuse this card. I think you can FTK with it. Functionally FTK, wait until your opponent's turn where they draw the card, but you get what I mean. Yep, face downs are included. Yeah, same as Great Maju, using banished cards. Woo! Necroface is used kind of commonly in like Grin Maju setups. I guess with Pot of Desires. Pot of Desires, Necroface, give it 2,200 attack. That's not bad. Card's cool. I think it's a little gimmicky though. Moving on to our champion pack, I believe. Is that the next set? Necroface is easily top 10 most disturbing artworks of all time. I don't think I think it hits the top 10. I think it hits the top 10, but I don't know how high I would put it. I don't think it's like number 1. I think Dark Necrofear is still scarier. But back to Gilgarth. Dark Attribute, level 4, Fiend, normal. This steel-armored terror machine ruthlessly strikes down enemies with its giant katana, which doesn't look like a katana. 1800 attack, 1200 defense. So Opticlops has 1800 attack, same attributes, same level, same type, 1700 defense. Is this card strictly worse than Opticlops? Maybe. I don't know. I guess you could get this card, add it to hand with Witch of the Black Forest, which is a little bit different than Opticlops. We also got, what is it? Archfiend Soldier that's got 1900 attack on a normal monster. I think this card's just bad. Gilgarth is a secret rare I pulled in Gladiator's Assault. It's outclassed by a Gemini elf. I am so sorry. I don't know why I thought we were in the next set. Anyway, next up, Soul Taker. Normal spell. Target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Destroy that target. Then your opponent gains 1,000 life points. Soul Taker is sort of 1-for-1 spot removal with upside. Sort of. We have Dark Lord Nurse Reficule right here. So she's almost in the game about the same time we get Soul Taker. With that combination, this card is spot removal plus Meteor of Destruction, which is crazy. The reason Soul Taker is so good, though, is missing the timing. Because Soul Taker resolves in 2 steps, so certain cards that say win will miss their timing. So you can get out of certain effects. Really strong upside. I don't know if it's worth considering today, though. It's definitely seen a lot of meta success. I believe like Darkblaze Dragon is one of the ones that you would counter with Soul Taker. Next up, Magic Formula. Equip spell. Equip only to Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl. Which is weird because you can't equip it to like Demok or Magician of Black Chaos or Sorcerer of Dark Magic or Dark Paladin or Dark Flare Knight, or there's a lot of different Dark Magician cards. Skill Dark Magician. I'm just saying, they limited themselves quite a lot. And for what? It gains 700 attack. Okay. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, gain 1,000 life points. So you stapled Malevolent Nuzzler to Diankito Cure Master, restricted it to literally 2 monsters in the entire game, and you don't even get the Malevolent Nuzzler recycle effect. I don't know what they were thinking. Like, this card is terrible. Especially when we get like a one-shot wand or Wonder Wand that give you significantly more stats and are way more flexible. I'll take Mage Power over this. Yep. It screams like an anime card they threw into the TCG. To be fair, it's from the anime. Yep. Thank you, Yugi. You're defending Magic Formula. But it allows Dark Magician to beat Blue Eyes in combat. Oh, that's pretty good. That is a decent breakpoint. 3,200 attack is a decent breakpoint. But it still falls below the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Next up, Silent Doom, which I always thought was an equip spell for some reason. Normal spell. Target 1 normal monster in your graveyard. Special summon it in defense position, but it cannot attack. I like the implication behind this card. It's like, but it can't attack. Most of the time, cards can't attack in defense position, but I know what they mean. If you were to, change its battle position later, it makes sense. Silent Doom's pretty cool. Unfortunately, we have Swing of Memories, which I think might just outclass it. Like, Swing of Memories is right there, and Silent Doom is right here. Normal monsters are getting some pretty decent support, though. It is a really cool name, I'll give it that. As a non-biased viewer, Magic Formula is definitely worth considering today. Thank you, Yugi. Silent Doom is a cool name. Next up, and I believe we're in the next set. Maybe not. Destiny Hero Plasma. Dark Attribute, level 8, Warrior Effect. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by tributing 3 monsters. Negates the effects of face-up monsters while your opponent controls them. Once per turn, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls. Equip that target to this card, max 1. Gain attack equal to the half the original attack of the monster equipped to it by this effect. 1900 attack, 600 defense. I think Plasma is really good. It's an inherent special summon condition. You contribute tokens for it. It's blanket negation, and it's removal that doesn't destroy, but it does target. And it gets stronger. I like Plasma so much. Like, it just does so many good things. I want to put it up here, because I always think Plasma is worth considering any format. But maybe it's just me. Plasma was insane? Yeah. Is really easy to search and summon in Modern Heroes? Yep. The attack gain is super important, honestly. Yeah, and it only starts with 1900 attack. So, that's pretty decent. It doesn't have your opponent's life points like Dogma, but still, Plasma's really good. If we wanted to drop it down to meta at one point, I completely understand. But I guess I like Destiny heroes more than Elemental heroes? Maybe? I don't know. I might have some bias of my own. Okay. I believe these 3 cards are video game promo. First up is Deep Diver, Water Attribute, level 3, Aqua, effect. At the end of the battle phase, if this card was destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, choose 1 monster from your deck and place it on the top of your deck. 1000 attack, 1100 defense. You could, set up with Destiny Hero Dasher, for instance. That's cool. This card is one of the strongest search cards in the game, but it's slow. You have to wait a whole turn. Technically, your opponent could shuffle your deck somehow. That could happen, and it could ruin your plan, and Deep Diver does nothing. But yeah, this card has seen a little bit of meta usage. Every now and again, it would creep into a deck, mostly gimmicky combo decks. I just want to point out the artwork on the official Yu-Gi-Oh! Website. His stance is slightly different, and it just looks like he's so sad, like he's been defeated, like he's being crushed by the weight of the world, or maybe just tons of water. Miss Gladiator Beast, truly pain. I'm sorry, Lamron. They were the first and last deck I took to serious competition. Oh, that's really sad. Glads are awesome. Glads do get more support for the next 3 or 4 sets, I believe. That's good, at least. Special summon, tribute, instead of normal is also interesting for the era. Yeah, Plasma doesn't even take up your normal summon. That random diver becomes archetype because he's underwater? Yeah. Sadly couldn't find anything underwater. Aw. It's okay. He looks better in the TCG artwork. You've been playing for 15 years and haven't brought a deck to competition since Gladiator Beast? Oh, that's so sad. You'll get it. You'll find the deck that's right for you. There's always something. Next up, Burden of the Mighty. Continuous spell. Each face-up monster your opponent controls loses 100 attack times its own level. I don't understand why people were playing this card, but it's cropped up in a surprising number of decks when I was crunching data, and I don't understand why. It just doesn't seem like that big of a deal. You're level 4, you lose 400 attack. Ooh, spooky. You're level 8, you lose 800 attack. Your Mighty Blue Eyes is down to 2200. I can see you attacking over things, but it just feels really weak to me. I feel like the impact that this card has compared to Shrink is not big enough. I don't understand why this card was seeing play. If you're running Hamon, Lord of Striking Thunder, maybe you could put in Burden of the Mighty because you need continuous spells, but we also have Crystal Beasts for that. I don't know. Finally, card levels matter. Oh yeah, this card doesn't even work on Lynx or Xyz monsters, which is a problem. From Lamron. No, I mean, I'm still playing Gladiator Beasts like I took them to qualifiers 2025. Oh, that is not sad. I am glad you're still playing Gladiator Beasts. They are fantastic. I don't understand why this card saw competitive success. I think it's like Reflect Bounder, where it's a product of the time. Maybe in certain matchups, in the mirror matchup, it's pretty decent, I guess. I don't know. Seems like a waste of a card to me. Next up, Dimensional Prison. Normal trap. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, target that attacking monster, banish that target. Also, very important lore between Marauding Captain and Gagigo and the Dimensional Fissure. Is this when he goes into the Dark World and then is experimented on during level conversion lab and then converted into Goga Giga Gaga Gigo? I think so. The lore on this card, fantastic. And the card's not bad. For a lot of the game, this card has replaced Sakuretsu armor. Sometimes destruction is better. Sometimes banishing is better, to be honest. Most of the time, banishing is better. Real good card. Not strong enough for today's game, but 3 of in a lot of decks throughout the history of the game. My seething hatred for this card aside, the lore is great to see. What do you have against Dimensional Prison, Malachite? I think the card's pretty fair. It's a little bit annoying. I can agree with that. Battle traps tend to be. But just hit them with a cold wave. Or like Royal Decree if you hate trap cards so much. Or remove trap. Or there's counterplay. There's a lot of good counterplay to Dimensional Prison. Next up, Phantom of Chaos. This is from the special edition of the set, of the Gladiator's Beast set. I don't know why Phantom of Chaos isn't in the next set. The Phantom Darkness, I believe. Why is this not in Phantom Darkness? Like, it synergizes so well with that. But don't worry about it. Too many times your indestructible dudes got banished, Malachite? With Lynx, I understand why there aren't levels, but it didn't always seem... Yeah, but it did always seem mean-spirited that so many level-dependent cards just fly over Xyz when they basically had levels. That's true. Ranks are so similar to levels. I think maybe errata could have happened right when links were released, or I don't know. Missed opportunity. I lost to Dimensional Prison a lot when you were bad. Sorry, Malachite. Had no removal in the packs I could afford back then. Oh, that's so sad. I would think it's too fair to errata all of these to say level or Xyz rank. Gotta head off to bed now since it's getting late here. Good night, Jim-Jamatic. But yeah. I guess they just got excited with Phantom of Chaos and had to release it a little early. Who can blame them? The card's interesting. Dark Attribute, level 4, Fiend, effect. Your opponent takes no battle damage from attacks involving this card. with that mighty 0 attack. Once per turn, you can target one effect monster in your graveyard. Banish that target, and if you do, until the end phase, this card's name and original attack become that monster's name and original attack. And replace this effect with that monster's original effects. 0 attack, 0 defense. It makes sense why this card can't do damage to your opponent. Plus, it's flavorful because this is a phantom. It would just pass right through them. This card is super gimmicky. There are a lot of card effects that are really good, but are on cards that are too hard to use. Like Norliris, the Sky Scourge, that just wipes the board and then lets you draw a card off a Phantom of Chaos. It's just so nice. This lets you recycle some of your better effects once they're in the graveyard, especially if they're monsters that you can't get back otherwise. Seems like a card that should not exist. I think it's good, but I don't think it's ever been constructive for the game. The card was playable for a lot of the game. Play an Intelidad, for instance. One of the dirtiest things you can do is fill your graveyard with lots of dark monsters, including at least one Dark Armed Dragon, banish it for Phantom of Chaos, and then just pop, 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 pop. Usually you only get like 3 pops with Dark Armed Dragon, but you can fill your graveyard with it. I only ever saw it show up in absolutely fascinating jank. Card is janky. Card is combolicious. Card was definitely meta. You played it in Dad Return and Teledad. For one thing, it sets up Return from the Different Dimension pretty well. But you also use it to recycle some of your very powerful dark monster effects. Dark Creator's another one that you could do to bring back your monsters. Card's really strong. I don't think it's good now, though. Is Gimmick ranked higher than Meta at one point? Honestly, I'm not sure. I think it's best known for jank. It can stay in Gimmick. Next up, Vortex Trooper. Wind attribute, level 3, Aqua, effect. When this card is normal summoned, you can shuffle 2 cards from your hand into the deck, then draw 2 cards. If this card is destroyed, draw 1 card. 0 attack, 600 defense. To me, this is like the cousin of Card Trooper. And Card Trooper, really good. This card only gets its effect off on normal summon, so you can't just machine dupe, get 2 more Vortex Troopers, and really search through your deck. Well, not search, but, you know, cycle a lot of cards to try to get what you want. It does pay for itself like Card Trooper, which is nice, on destruction, but and it is an if, so it doesn't miss the timing, which is also good. By battle or by card effect, not bad. The card's definitely seen meta success. I don't think it's as good as Card Trooper. And maybe it just has, like, you know, an older brother that it can't live up to, which is fair. Good virtual card advantage, which is nice. Next up, we got a jump promo. The Wicked Dreadroot. Dark attribute. Level 10. Fiend. Effect. Cannot be special summoned. Must be normal summoned or sent by tributing 3 monsters. The attack/defense of all other monsters on the field are halved. 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense. I guess you could use this with Evil Hero Gaia too if you wanted to. He's a pretty big body. And that's all he is a really big body. You bring him out on the field and you attack over things. But man, the investment. You gotta tribute 3 monsters. And they can't be sheep tokens from Scapegoat, for instance, because this isn't a proper tribute summon. It's not like Plasma. Plasma's just really interesting. We have Obelisk at home. Excited to listen to Hal the VOD for this at work tomorrow. Good vibes, thank you. It really does read like a knockoff God card. Yep, that's what these were, though. I think the card is either bad or very bad. I think it's just bad. When we get Darkness Neosphere, I know it's not a wicked card, but that card's pretty good. It literally is a knockoff God card, yeah. These 3 cards come from Tag Force 5, I believe. Tag Force 3. These are 3 more video game promos. First up is Dark Lord Norse Refugul. This card had name-changing errata, so now it's a proper Dark Lord, which is fine. That's not a design mistake. That's, you know, cards get this treatment because early regionalization and poor planning was common. Dark Attribute, level 4, Fairy effect. Any effect that would make your opponent gain life points inflicts the same amount of damage to them instead. 1400 attack, 600 defense. You need this card for Nurse Burn. This is the Nurse and Nurse Burn. It's just cheesy. It's a lot better now. It's more searchable now because of all the Dark Lord support. It's a normal summon. You're using cards like Gift Card and Try and Guess and Paths of Destiny, and it is just cheese. I don't think this card is healthy for the game. Like, we get Prime Material Dragon later, and I think that card's a significantly better design card. Yeah, the Wicked Avatar was one of the Wicked Gods, and the other one was the Wicked Eraser. The Wicked Avatar was the sphere form of Ra, and the Wicked Eraser was Slifer. Oh, this card made Nurse Burn really expensive? Interesting. And she doesn't even look like a Dark Lord? I don't know about that. She looks edgy. She's got a utility belt like Batman. But she's also got like, if you've ever seen Parasite the Maxim, where they have the blades that are made out of flesh and look like metal, she really reminds me of the Infected from Parasite the Maxim. I remember when she was called Nurse Refugul, the Fallen. Yep. Marie the Fallen, too. Absolute cheese. I like the artwork, but I can see it not looking like the other Dark Lords. Now, to go with our nurse, we have Dark Cure. Continuous trap. When your opponent summons a monster, they gain life points equal to half the attack of the summoned monsters of your choice. Oh, so it only works if they special summon multiple at the same time, then you get to choose one of them for them to gain half the attack as life points. Okay. Weird wording. I don't like this card. I think it's very bad. Its intended use case with bad reaction to Smoochie or Nurse makes sense. But if you just have this card and are unaware of those 2 specific cards, this card is so awful. Just give your opponent a whole bunch of life points. Why? Dark Lords are a specific type of edgy. She's more generically demonic. Not bad art, though. Oh, that's... generically demonic. I can agree with that. To go with our Dark Cure, we also have Brutal Potion. Normal Trap. This card becomes an equip card and equips to 1 monster you control. Once per turn, when you inflict damage to your opponent with a card effect. The equipped monster gains 1000 attack until the end phase. So one, the manga has equipped traps just as a mechanic. These didn't really get translated into the game. That's why so many of these cards treat themselves as equipped trap cards, like Kunai with Chain and Blast with Chain. That's why. Brutal Potion is bad acts of despair that maybe you could surprise your opponent one time with. If you also have, some burn damage that you could pull out during your opponent's turn. It's capped at 1000 too. Like if this card wasn't capped or was capped at like 3000, it'd be more interesting. Possibly too good. But right now it's just really bad. Bad acts of despair. I think there are actually trap cards, Rising Power, which gives you more attack, but I think Rising Power has a cost. So underwhelming, Brutal Potion. It doesn't even synergize with Nurse. Next up, we're moving into our Champion Pack 5 cards with Fiend Sanctuary. Normal spell. Special summon 1 Metal Fiend token. Fiend, Dark, level 1, attack 0, defense 0. It cannot attack. Your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from battles involving it. Once per turn, during your standby phase, pay 1000 life points or destroy this token. I think this card is really interesting. The opponent taking the battle damage from your token is interesting, is flavorful, but I don't think that that's the main use of the card. I think the token isn't going to stick around until the end of the turn. This is a spell card that generates a token and asks nothing from you. Like, I believe one-time passcode also generates a token, but you require no monsters, I believe, for one-time passcode. Let me check. No. Special summon 1 security token. Okay. One-time passcode is once per turn. That's the restriction. Fiend Sanctuary. No restrictions. I don't think it's quite up here, but I want it to be. Card's so far above Stray Lambs, for the record. Also, Metal Fiend. Rest in peace, Doom. Victor Von may be gone, but Doom is eternal. Next up, Amazon of the Seas. Water attribute, level 4, Fish. A mermaid who serves as a herald to the ocean lord. She protects the sacred domain of Atlantis. 1300 attack, 1400 defense. I thought this card was in the game when the McDonald's Pack 2 cards came out. This is fusion material for, I think it's Fairy Dragon that requires this. No, Aqua Dragon requires Amazoness of the Seas. Anyway, that's the only potential use for the card, is fusion material. I think the card is otherwise pretty underwhelming. Searchable with fusion conscription, though, if you really wanted to. Next up, Blast Sphere. This is like the third time we've seen this card? Sort of. Like, you remember Adhesive Explosive? This card's really similar to that. Dark attribute, level 4. Machine effect. If this face down defense position card was attacked by an opponent's monster before damage calculation, equip this card to the attacking monster. Then, during your opponent's next standby phase, destroy the monster this card is equipped to, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the destroyed monster had on the field. 1400 attack, 1400 defense. It's vulnerable to Noblemen of Crossout and other popping effects. But the upside is that this card combines Magic Cylinder with Sakuretsu armor. You get the removal from Sakuretsu armor, and you get the burn damage from Magic Cylinder. But you have to set this card. So it probably takes up your normal summon for the turn. I can't think of a good way to special summon this in face down defense position. Like obviously there's the Shallow Grave, but Shallow Grave isn't particularly good. I think it's just too slow. We get another card pretty similar to it. Where are you? Grave Squirmer right here. Let me show you. Grave Squirmer right here. I don't know. Is this better or worse than Grave Squirmer? Maybe. Next up, Copycat. Light attribute, level 1, spellcaster effect. If this card is summoned, target one face-up monster your opponent controls. This card's attack/defense become equal to that monster's original attack/defense. 0 attack, 0 defense. I guess this card still works with Apprentice Magician. You could get your Copycat out from the deck, and then you could, Kishido Spirit and attack over your opponent's monsters. That'd be silly. Banner of Courage, give you that little boost and then get over their monsters. It seems useful, but I think that we're just, not at that point in the game. It's very similar to Reflect Bounder too. I'd say it's filler. If this card were in GOAT, I think it would see a little bit of experimentation, but not be game-changing. But we're not in GOAT format anymore. We're not in Kansas anymore. Next up, Relieve Monster. Normal Trap. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, target one monster you control, return that target to the hand, then special summon one level 4 monster from your hand. I wonder if it can be the same one, which would be silly, but you'd get another summon effect. Is this useful? If you have Express Roid, this gives you back 2 more cards. That is sort of good. Do you play this in Mist Valley, maybe? Where you want to be returning cards to your hand? That doesn't sound that bad. You get some of the bounce from hand effects during your opponent's turn. I can see this card working with Mist Valley. Card's not as good as like Rope of Life or Soul Rope. Those cards are interesting, at least. What am I thinking? I think it's filler. Next up, we have Cloning. Normal Trap. When your opponent normal or flip summons a monster that has a level, target that face-up monster, special summon one clone token with the same original type, attribute, level, attack, and defense as the target. When that target is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, destroy this token. Why? If you clone something in real life, the clone doesn't die when the original dies. I feel like this card is like a mirror reflection. Like if you step away from a mirror, yes, your reflection also is removed. Or Doppelganger would make more sense. Doppelganger is its own card, which we get later, but I feel like cloning is not quite the right word, just the way that it functions. It's strange that we got cloning and copycat like at the same time too. I didn't change the card on screen. Oh no! Thank you. I'll have to fix that in the premium edit for Relief Monster. Thank you. Of course, cloning is just a copy of copycat. Thank you. I mean, it's a token. There's also physical double, which sort of does the same thing as cloning. I don't know. I just can't get past the fact that if your opponent's card is destroyed, your clone is also destroyed. That doesn't make any sense. Thank you, Olive. Now, we're moving on to our Duelist pack. This one's Jaden 2, I believe is the number. And it's focused on evil heroes. First up, Evil Hero, Infernal Prodigy. Dark Attribute, level 2, Fiend effect. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand in attack position. Let's say that one more time without mush mouth. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand in attack position. Already pretty strong. Once per turn, during the end phase, if this card was tributed this turn to tribute summon a hero monster, draw one card. 300 attack, 600 defense. What are you tributing with this guy? Malicious Edge? Are you tribute summoning Necroshade? I think that second effect doesn't really work because there's not a lot of good, one tribute hero monsters. It definitely accelerates the deck, which is good. You can special summon this card, and then I guess bounce it back to hand, but then you'd have a monster on the field, so you couldn't special summon it again with Gen X Ally Birdman or Zephyros the Elite. But it's not once per turn. Conceivably, you could get this guy and bounce or recycle him somehow. Dark Eruption, maybe. I don't know. Do we put Jester Confi as worth considering today? Do we put this card? It is a hero, so it gets to tap into Stratus, I think. And that's it. Absolutely huge? I don't know about absolutely huge. Card's not bad, though. It is a fiend, though. Next up, Armor Breaker. Was this card even in the anime? Earth Attribute, level 3, Warrior, Union. Once per turn, you can equip this card to a warrior-type monster you control, or unequip it to special summon this card in face-up attack position. While equipped to a monster by this effect, when that monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, destroy one card on the field. A monster can only be equipped with one Union monster at a time. If the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle, this card is destroyed instead. 800 attack, 800 defense. If you're hitting them for damage, then you can start popping cards. Is there a warrior monster that could take advantage of this? If you put it on like Hayabusa Knight or Mataza the Zapper, and you're getting multiple attacks in, and you're hitting them multiple times for damage, then you can pop multiple cards. If you have a monster that can sneak past and attack directly, and I'm having trouble thinking of the warrior monster that can attack directly, you could pop a card. It's hard to get Union monsters out. If they special summon themselves or equipped from hand, they'd be a lot more playable, but right now it's just too slow. I think a card is interestingly bad. It's also weird that it doesn't give your monster 800 attack and defense. I think that could have been better. Infernal Prodigy is good in Monarch as well. It also saw play in Sprite because of its level 2. Oh. Let's bump it up. There we go. Go Prodigy. It's divine. Yeah, I like Infernal Prodigy a lot. Armor Breaker, I think it's bad. Union monsters are so hard to balance. Next fusion, Evil Hero Wild Cyclone. Earth attribute, level 8. Fiend fusion effect. Materials are Elemental Hero Avian and Elemental Hero Wildheart. Must be special summoned with Dark Fusion. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate any spell/trap cards until the end of the damage step. This guy's in Ancient Gear? What? If this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, destroy all sets, spell, or traps your opponent controls. Ooh. 1900 attack, 2300 defense. Oh. What happened? We're reading it so well. You get Ancient Gear effect. Pretty good. And then you can pop all their face down spell and traps, which is pretty strong effect. It's just your stat lineup. If you had 2300 attack and 1900 defense, maybe we could get the ball rolling. But right now, that's just not enough to be attacking with, especially to be hitting them for battle damage. You were so close. Also, I want to point out that like the official artwork on the Yu-Gi-Oh website has a green outline. Like someone couldn't properly select when they were cutting it out of its background, and it still has the green screen behind it, which I think is really funny. Next up, Evil Hero Infernal Sniper. Fire attribute, level 6. Fiend fusion effect. Materials are Elemental Hero Clayman and Elemental Hero Burstenatrix. Must be fusion summoned with Dark Fusion. Cannot be destroyed by spell cards. Nice. Once per turn, during your standby phase, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. Okay. This card must be in face-up defense position to activate and to resolve this effect. 2000 attack, 2500 defense. Rampart Blaster's not great. This card's not great. I just don't think it's enough payoff. You know what else does 1000 damage each turn? Stealth Bird. I guess Stealth Bird can be destroyed by spell cards, though. But Stealth Bird is also a lot less work. Next up, Evil Hero Malicious Fiend. Fire attribute. Level 8. Fiend fusion effect. Materials are Evil Hero Malicious Edge, plus 1 level 6 or higher Fiend monster, which is sort of flexible. I don't know. Must be special summoned with Dark Fusion. During your opponent's battle phase, all monsters they control are changed to face-up attack position, and each monster they control must attack if able. Must attack this card if able. So it is a lightning rod that's forcing your opponent to attack into it. Sort of reminds me of the rock structure deck, where you're waiting for your opponent to attack. It is a goading effect. It works with an unfortunate report, I guess. Give them multiple battle phases. 3500 attack is a lot. I don't know if this is ever useful, though. The report is looking quite fortunate, yeah. I really like the alternate artwork. I don't know why they went with the one on the card rather than this one. I think we just put it in filler. Next up, Dark Calling. Normal spell. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that must be special summoned with Dark Fusion by banishing the fusion materials mentioned on it from your hand and or graveyard. This is treated as a fusion summon with Dark Fusion. The issue with Malicious Fiend plus Unfortunate Report is everything is probably destroyed at the end of the first battle phase, yeah? I like Dark Calling a lot. it's like the evil hero version of Miracle Fusion. And I think that this card is pretty good in Evil Heroes. It's good recovery. It's weird that it doesn't work from the field, though. But I think it's fine. Next up, Revoke Fusion. Normal spell. Discard 1 polymerization to the graveyard. Send 1 fusion monster from your fusion deck to the graveyard. And special summon 1 monster from your hand that is listed as a fusion material on that card. The special summoned monster is sent to the graveyard during the end phase of this turn. You gotta go all in for this card. You gotta go -2. And you send a fusion monster from... And you get to special summon a specific monster from your hand. It's just... Oh man, you need 3 cards in hand for 1 body, yeah. You know what else does that? Like Chosen One does that. Except Chosen One is terrible. A Hero Emerges sorta does this. But that's not great. At least polymerization is searchable nowadays. Yeah, I've heard that a few cards search polymerization. For the record, I think polymerization is literally the easiest card to search in the game, just based on the number of cards that can fetch it. It is a lot. And a lot of cards recover polymerization too. There's this card called Monster Eye that you could just get your polymerization directly from your graveyard to your hand for only 1,000 life points. Wow. I think this card's just very bad. When we're comparing you to Chosen One, that's not a good thing. Chosen One sucks. Next up, Heroes Rule 2. I believe they just made the first Heroes Rule. So, this card finally makes sense. Counter Trap. Negate the activation of the spell, trap, or monster or effect monster's effect that targets a card in the graveyard and destroy it. Pretty narrow, but it does negate anything. It's just that the condition is hard. I guess you could actually hit a lot of different things with this now that I start thinking of it. Like you're probably thinking, oh, you can counter the Transmigration Prophecy, but I'm pretty sure Monster Reborn targets and like Zombie Master targets, and there's a lot of little things that you could do with Heroes Rule number 2. Not enough to keep it out of filler though, I think. Next up, we have a card that is pretty divisive. Phantom Skyblaster. Dark Attribute, level 4. Fiend, effect. When this card is normal or flip summoned, you can special summon any number of Skyblaster tokens. Fiend, Dark, level 4. 500 attack, 500 defense, up to the number of monsters you control. Once per turn, during your standby phase, you can inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each Skyblaster monster you control. Skyblaster monsters you control cannot declare an attack during the turn you activate this effect. 1,100 attack, 800 defense. He just got out of limit jail? Yeah. Does this card count as an archetypal card because of Castell and Clavices? Oh, you're right. Castell is a Skyblaster. I forgot about him. Skyblaster Musketeer, yeah. I guess he is an archetype card. Why aren't you going up? There you go. This card's definitely been in the metagame. If you want to be generous, this is a huge play extender. The weird magic key guy, thank you. It's just that it takes your normal summon is the problem. It can definitely help with swarming. If you already have one monster on the field, summon the Sky Blaster, you get 2 tokens. That's pretty good. Go +2 off of this guy. Set up for some link plays. It's really strong. But it takes your normal summon is the big sticking point for me. Set up for synchro plays, set up for Xyz plays. If your deck doesn't need your normal summon, like Hieratics, then yeah, Phantom Sky Blaster is great. And it's got a whole bunch of other techs that we don't care about. Those tokens are not lasting until next turn. Normal summon is too important for a lot of decks. Whenever another deck that doesn't care about their normal summon is meta, it might be good. I can agree with that. Any deck that, you know, could run card D, for instance. Maybe that's too extreme. Next up, Grave Squirmer. Dark attribute, level 1, Fiend effect. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, target one card on the field, destroy that target. This is Newdoria, only better, because it can hit spell and traps if you need to. Like if you really wanted to get out of a floodgate, you could use your Grave Squirmer for it. Not recommended, but is possible. 0 attack, 0 defense. It works with cards like Recurring Nightmare, for instance. Not bad. It's definitely seen meta success. It's even got a retrain now, which is weird. I didn't even think of Phantom Sky Blaster because of the extra monster zone. It gives 3 instead of a max of 2. You're right. So like if you start with Hornet Drones, you get your token, you bring out the rank 1, then you bring back Hornet Drones. So now you have 2 monsters on the field. You summon Phantom Sky Blaster, and now you have 6 monsters on the field, and you can make some big link plays. I forgot about the extra monster zone. Yeah, he did get buffed. Go Phantom Sky Blaster. Also, Hornet Drones is just crazy. Next up, Grinder Golem. Dark attribute, level 8, Fiend effect, cannot be normal summoned or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand to your opponent's side of the field by tributing 2 grinder tokens. Oh, by special... Let me start over. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand to your opponent's side of the field by special summoning 2 grinder tokens, Fiend type, Dark, level 1, 0 attack, 0 defense, and face-up attack position on your side of the field. I don't know why I was thinking Lava Golem. If you special summon this monster, you cannot normal summon or set a monster during the same turn. 3000 attack, 300 defense. Grinder Golem is not once per turn on the special summon effect. If it were, it would still be super jank, but it wouldn't be banned, at least. The fact that you can bounce this and then summon it again and just keep linking away with tokens is crazy. There are a lot of nutty things that you can do. Also, special summoning a monster to your opponent's side of the field, pretty beneficial in certain circumstances, because a lot of cards that you have on your side of the field require your opponent to have cards. And if you go first, they don't have any cards on the field. So, Grinder Golem, actually a bit crazy design mistake. He goes, yep. Valon, the super size Sky Blaster just came out, making their 4 cards in the Sky Blaster archetype, released over 15 years apart. So strange. That is strange. The other thing about Grinder Golem is this card has exactly 3000 attack. The tokens have 0 attack. You can take your token and ram it into their Grinder Golem, and then you can activate Inferno Tempest and just banish every monster from both players' decks. You can't normal summon that turn, but that just completely destroys your opponent's strategy. Grinder Golem has been really silly, but at some point it actually became a problem. Imagine playing evenly matched just to get slapped with Grinder Golem. Oh, that'd be funny. Right. Because then they couldn't pop everything with evenly matched. Ooh. I don't think the card can come off the ban list, which is fine. I think this is a candidate for a hard once per turn effect changing errata, and I don't think anyone would be upset about it, but maybe that's just me. Next up, hand destruction. Quick play spell. Each player sends 2 cards from their hand to the graveyard, then draws 2 cards. This does not trigger Dark Worlds. I know a lot of people, maybe it's, hopeful wishing that it does, but I've seen a lot of people cheat with this card. I think, like Reload, this card doesn't see much use unless you're in a deck that really, wants to cycle through. Royal Magical Library comes to mind. Hand destruction on your Royal Magical Library. Appropriate to make you draw cards off your opponent drawing the 2 cards. This is graveyard setup, technically. It is a -1. If you're running like Magical Mallet, hand destruction makes sense. Interesting combos are like with Veil of Darkness or Heart of the Underdog, where you can actually gain some advantage off of hand destruction, but your opponent still gets free graveyard setup, so your mileage may vary. I like Dark World Dealings better, but maybe that's just me. I think this card is dead some of the time, where you can't activate it if your opponent has less than 2 cards in their hand. Hand destruction is definitely a lot better than generic draw cards being legal. Royal Magical Library is a stupid enabler. Yep. Moving on to our other Duelist pack. We got Duelist Pack Jesse. I think it's 7. Equip spell, Crystal Release. This is a crystal card. Violet Crystal is not a crystal card. That matters because Rainbow Bridge can search it. But what does it do? Crystal Release, equip spell, equip only to a Crystal Beast monster. There's a lot more now. It gains 800 attack. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can place 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. Can you just set this card and then pop it? It might miss the timing, though. That's the problem. It's a win effect. The effect's okay. If this card just special summon or just set up a Crystal Beast from your deck, it'd be okay. It's 800 attack. That's not nothing. I don't think you play this in archetype. Crystal Beacon's just so much better. Maybe not bad. Maybe filler. What about Crystal Tree? Continuous spell, which is sort of competing with what your archetype does. You don't have a lot of room in your spell and trap zones. Each time a Crystal Beast monster is placed in either player's spell and trap zone, so excellent in the mirror, place 1 crystal counter on this card. You can send this card to the graveyard, take a number of Crystal Beast monsters from your deck equal to the number of crystal counters that were on this card, and place them face up in your spell and trap zone as continuous spells. Aww. It almost does something. Except your opponent can pop it early. It's sort of like Wave Motion Cannon, where you're playing a little mini game, a chicken game with your opponent, seeing how much advantage you can get off before you actually release it. Ideally, you get 2 Crystal Beasts into your spell and traps after activating Crystal Tree. You then send Crystal Tree and you get 2 more out. I guess that's the max that you can do. So at best, this is a +1 with a lot of hoops. It was decent years ago. So close and yet so very far. I don't know about decent. It can be all the way at the bottom of acceptable. +1, tutor from deck, setup plays with Carbuncle. You're barely acceptable. Oh, decent I think was referring to the previous card. Decent was hand destruction. Oh. Hand destruction I think is a gimmick. Oh, hand destruction wasn't the previous card. Crystal release was. Crystal release was decent. I don't know about that. Anyway, on to Counter Gem. Not a crystal card. Can't search this one with Rainbow Bridge. Normal Trap. Send all cards in your spell and trap zone to the graveyard. Place as many Crystal Beast monsters as possible from your graveyard face up in your spell and trap zone as continuous spells. During the end phase of this turn, destroy all Crystal Beast cards you control. So you wipe your board, and then you get Crystal Beasts from your graveyard, and you put them back in your spell and trap zone. But then, at the end, it destroys all your Crystal Beasts. So not just the ones that you got back, any that you had on the field. I don't get it. This card's not like a soul charge. It's sort of like shuffling around what you have. I guess you could recycle a Carbuncle or a Sapphire Pegasus. And then you have to make Linker, Synchro, or Xyz plays with them. Otherwise, you're going to lose them all at the end. I don't know. This card's really bad. But what about Crystal Pair? Normal Trap. When a Crystal Beast monster you control is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, place one Crystal Beast monster from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. And if you do, you take no battle damage for the rest of this turn. Okay. So what's the benefit? This is sort of like Hero Signal or Destiny Signal or Snake Whistle, which I got the effect slightly wrong. You get to tutor Crystal Beast to your spell and trap, and you prevent damage for the rest of the turn. Condition's a little hard. I don't think you play this. Finally, we got our last Trump promo, Vandalgion, the Dark Dragon Lord. Dark Attribute, level 8, Dragon Effect. If you negate the activation of an opponent's spell/trap card or opponent's monster effects with a counter trap card, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If summoned this way, activate these effects and resolve in sequence, depending on the type of cards negated by that counter trap. Let me think about this for a second. So, if your counter trap is negating multiple cards in the same chain, the only way I can think about doing that is Vanity's Call, where activated at chain link 4 or higher, and then it negates everything before it. I think that's the only way, at least on release, that you can do that to get, multiple effects off of this. So you're probably only going to get one of these. Spell. Inflict 1500 damage to your opponent. Trap. Target one card your opponent controls. Destroy that target. Monster. Target one monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. 2800 attack. 2500 defense. So thinking logically that you're going to get one of these, and it depends on when your opponent is actually using it. You have Solemn Judgment, so you do get a little bit more flexibility. but 1500 damage. That's not a bad amount of damage. It's decent. Trap, you get to destroy one card on the field. That's pretty good. Just targeted removal. Pop. Monster. You get, a monster reborn, which is pretty strong. It's one-sided. It doesn't work on your opponent. And this is on top of getting a really beefy body. For the time, 2800 attack. Totally acceptable. This card is not a counter fairy, but it goes in counter fairies. It's not a fairy monster, but it goes in counter fairies. I think that's the only place it's reasonable. But yeah, it's very successful in that. This is your boss monster. This should have been on the deck box. Like, ignore the Parshaf evolution and then put Vandalgion on the box art. I don't know. Got a comment about Grinder Golem from Olivia. Honestly, Grinder Golem may still be really busted because it also neuters Lightning Storm. Let me think. Oh, right. Okay. Lightning Storm requires you to have no monsters, or is it no cards? If you control no face-up cards. Yeah, because you'd have a face-up card, so you wouldn't be able to activate Lightning Storm. Very good observation. Oh, weird. They changed the art for Lightning Storm recently. Cool. I think special summoning to your opponent's side of the field is something that is incredibly difficult to properly balance, but something that Konami loves playing around with. It's always just really annoying when I draw into Evenly or Lightning Storm and have any cards at all. Yeah. That is the list. Save. Oh, wouldn't let me download. Download. There we go. Well, that's the stream. Weird which cards ended up in the design mistake tier. Pretty glad. Pretty glad about Gladiator Beasts. Next week will be a Friday stream. And we are talking about the Phantom Darkness, I believe. Yeah, the Phantom Darkness is next week. Looking forward to that. But till then, good night, everybody.